All right, all right, all right. I do believe I am live. Hello, Zen friends. Happy weekend to you. Hope you've been having an amazing weekend full of amazing moments, enjoying this eclipse wave of energy. We do have a full moon in Pisces. It's a lunar eclipse next Sunday, not tomorrow, but next Sunday. So we're already feeling that kind of change energy for a while already, but it's getting bigger and bigger, right? So it is here. Dreams, 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 dreams. I'm sure you guys have been having the same. So welcome. Well, before we get into everything, let us bring in some beautiful love energy. We'll start off by taking a big deep breath to come back to right here, right now. I'll hit the singing bowl 3 times. We'll let that love energy come in, fill us up, and flow out to the world. And something we can do to immediately raise our love vibration is think of at least one thing that we're grateful for right here, right now, in this moment. And that immediately begins to raise our love vibration, but it also puts us in this beautiful receiving energy to receive messages from spirit, and whatever we're grateful for just opens the conduit to make it easier to receive that as well. So if you'd like to join me, let's start off by taking a big deep breath and coming right here. Hold it for as long as you want, and then of course exhale. So here we go. Begin. Big deep breath in. Beautiful. All right, let's begin. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me in doing that. I do love the singing bowl. All right, let's put her back on her little shelf over here. There we go. Right. Hello, everybody. Good to see you guys too. Hello, hello. All right. Thank you, Crescent Moon. We will do that. Thank you so much. Instead of splitting it out, you are so kind. So welcome, everyone. I'm so glad to have you here. Yeah, it looks like we just have there's other people here according to the little count, but we've got Nelia and Crescent Moon. Hello, hello. Good to see you, and hello, everyone. If you're new to my channel or new to these readings, welcome. Got a great group of Zen friends with huge hearts, great senses of humor. Definitely 2 things that are helpful to have on this channel, but also in the human adventure of life as well, right? So welcome. There's always room for more Zen friends, so you're always welcome here. And there is, of course, always a safe space here. If you want to know how the whole process works on readings, it's all listed down in the description box of the video. Donations do get priority. And after I get done with those, then I do go into free readings. I'm on for 3 hours. as long as there's questions. The morning session, we only run 2 hours, which is very weird. It's like there's some energy going on right now because it's been very light with interactions. So there's just this little energy. I feel like a lot of us are being pulled inward. So I get it. I get it. So we'll be on no longer than usually 3 hours, sometimes less than. But after I'm done with the session, I will post a pinned comment listing all the readings with timestamps. And like I said, donations do get first party. If you want to make a donation, you can use the super chat at the bottom or in the description box of the video. Do you have my Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, or Square? I don't have like a set amount because I know everyone's finances vary. Cost of living is different. The rate of exchange is different across the world. So whatever you give from your heart is the perfect amount. I do, in addition to prioritizing donations, we dive deeper too. Free readings are generally 1 to 2 cards. We get into more of the tea, the private investigator, private eye, brudda-zen gets a little more involved. What's really spirit? It's nothing's really for me. But so we dive deeper into those as well. So if you want a deeper reading, you can always make a donation as well. I think that's everything. Yeah, nice to see you too. I am doing well. Yeah. Yeah, bouncing in and out of energy. It's, we do that all the time, but I appreciate that for sure. So I think that's all we have. I don't have anything coming in via PayPal or Cash App or anything like that. So let me just adjust this real quick here. So we do have Nelia ×2. You'll be up first, and then Crescent Moon. And then I think, Nelia, you're the only free reading here for the follow-up so far. So it might be a short night, but we'll see what happens, of course. So let us begin. So Nelia Medeiros, here is your timestamp for ×2. So we will do those. So boom, boom, boom. And thank you for your first donation with the black kitty cat. So thank you for that. Making a little rhyme. Oh, I am using this beautiful tarot of the Sacred Kingdoms deck. It's a beautiful deck, and for each individual that makes a donation, you'll get one of these per session, a fortune cookie. But tonight we're using the Fairy Tale Heroine Oracle. We'll use those until we run out or get really low on those as well. All right. Let's shuffle these up and we will take a look here. You want to know, what does Spirit want you to know right now? All right, let's take a look here and see what we've got going on here. What does Spirit want you to know right now? All righty, we got 1 and 2, and this one, and these 2. All right. So we see what we got going on here. On the bottom of the deck, you do have the King of Swords energy coming in here. Do the little, so you can see the bottom there. Little bright light. We should do it over here. Let's see. I have to figure out, it's over here. Oh, it's closer to here. Might come in a little better. But the King of Swords, of course, is a very mental energy. It's all about the mind. The king rolls over the suit. All kings get a second portion of swords too. So they're not just the king of swords and ruler along with the queen, but they're the master of the mind, of thinking, connecting to the higher realms. A lot of clarity coming in, a lot of communication can come in with that energy too. So let's see what this is about here. That's the underlying energy on the bottom of the deck. Your first card out is the 4 of Pentacles. So the 4 of Pentacles is an energy, one of stability in the outside world. It can also be the 4 walls of the outside world. So you could be getting clarity around living situations, like what you consider home or even work, any kind of building, relationship to a building or a place of where you feel secure and safe. which is generally home. Usually not work, right? It's usually home we feel more safe. But there's also the thing we learn a lot about with the Four of Pentacles in their journey is about our worth, right? It's all about how do I define my worth? My true safety, my true stability comes from in here because the outside world, the three buckets of the outside world, relationships, situations, and things, all that stuff is unstable, which I'm sure we've talked a lot about already um, with this. Um, but people change, people walk away, people pass away. Situations like jobs and education and social status, any kind of situational things, those don't stay the same for very long. And things, of course, break down, deteriorate, blow up, burn down, our bodies, our bank accounts, our possessions. So there is this clarity around my worth, and we gain clarity, of course, through wonderful challenges that come in with the outside world, showing us the things that, we need to know and we need to see and need to come in, right? So I feel like that is a big piece of what's coming in is that these things that are popping up in any of those three buckets are mirroring back for you to be able to see your true worth from the inward out so that the stability can come in and be solid for you. Then you have two cards. There's one card with something underneath. You have the Seven of Wands. I love this card, how they present it here. Seven of Wands is a card like the sun shining bright, not dimming its light, not asking permission to shine energy, right? Not feeling like I have to defend who I am, what I'm doing, anything about any of my actions, my words, or whatever. But it's about stepping into this true authenticity of who I am. And that's a lot of clarity that comes into, right? When we get sucked out into the outside world and we are when we're defining ourselves by all those things of the outside world, we're also afraid that the outside world is going to reject us, so we start shrinking ourselves, changing ourselves, doing all this stuff that we have here, as well. So um there is this awareness that's coming in going, how have I been shrinking to fit into those buckets to try not to have those things be stable? But it is because this has been something you've been working on for a while. You've been releasing a lot, but you're really celebrate how far you've come, and then there are still some things popping up, which we've been inundated with so many things coming into our lives growing up that we do have a lot of um, like beliefs that are bubbling below the surface on autopilot that when they trigger, we're like, oh, how long has that been? It's like you look at some sort of setting on your phone. How long has that been on? Click that off. That's that kind of energy. The card that's underneath that is the Lover's card. Yeah, so this is about emotional choice, but I feel like the one of the big things that, of course, it has to do with is the first bucket to deal with relationships with people. Can be romantic, friends, family, coworkers, members of groups, peers, schoolmates, whoever. But it's relationships with humans that seems to be the bucket that is being focused on the most right now. After that, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's been a slow movement, but the Knight of Pentacles, they're on a quest here for the Ace of Pentacles, which it fits right in with what we're talking about because it is a quest to look at our worth in relation to the outside world in a different way. So there is this quest. It feels like a slow quest, but there has been progress. We just don't realize it because we're always with ourselves, and we're like, have we even gone any distance here? And then we turn around and go, oh yeah, we have. You see how far when you reflect backwards and you think of yourself 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. You're like, I'm not who I was back then. I have been on this journey, even though it's not like a sprint. With this area, it feels like it's been trudging through snow up to your waist, right? It's like it's slow movement. You can make movement. It's just not like running across the grass, a level ground, right? It's walking. As like what we used to always say, back when I was a kid, I used to walk uphill in the snow up to my waist to school, uphill both ways. It's like, what? How's that possible? But there is this energy of movement, so I like that. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, the 10 of cups. So it is joy energy, but it also is this energy of relationship, right? I'm choosing joy around relationships, and the 2 of wands. So of course, there is this wonderful reminder, which we get a lot through the readings, about what I focus on is what grows and expands. If I focus on the joy around relationships, what I love about what's happening, what I'm grateful for, what I have had, then that just opens the conduit to receive more of this joy, joy, joy energy. So it is me choosing that. And a little kind of message mixed in with that is, yeah, we can look and focus on these things that are popping up, but I used to say like 80-20 rule, like 80% on higher vibration, 20% shadow work. Now I'm like 90%, um, upper work, focus on a higher vibration, and then lower 10% on shadow work instead, right? So I like that energy here for you. And I feel like that's what they want you to know right now, just a kind of an explanation of why some things are coming up, some triggers, but also a celebration of some long held thoughts and beliefs and mindsets as well. But celebrate, 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 and then just be aware of our energy that, yeah, it's coming up, not to like invest so much energy in it, but um, but more of an explanation, if that makes sense. Let's see what the fairy tale heroine oracle brings in here for you. All right, there we go. So this is yours here. Oh, we got the King's Palace. Dun, 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 dun. Card number 5. It is a number of change anyway. Let's take a look here. It says the King's Palace is both a holding place and a place of refuge. Oh, that's that safe space, right? The palace. It furnishes the fairy tale heroine with a temporary home where she can work, usually in the kitchen or at some other menial task, and be fed. Well, there's work, right? Here, she can disguise herself, take stock of her situation, and plot a way forward. In the Brothers Grimm story, The Goose Girl, a princess who's usurped by her maid finds work helping to watch the geese at the palace of the man she was originally supposed to marry, until the maid is eventually revealed as an imposter and the princess regains her rightful place. It's at the king's palace that the heroine, though usually wearing a surface disguise, is revealed for who she really is. There's that authenticity energy. This has less to do with the trappings of her former station in life and infinitely more to do with her character and steadfastness. To help her along the way, there might be a talking horse who adores her, or a cook who can't help but feel he must protect her. Whatever the nature of her alliances, the heroine in the king's palace remains wholly herself, and she waits there until the world is ready to recognize the nature of her gifts. Wow. And then it says, do you need a place of refuge right now as you wait for the next stage on your path to reveal itself to you? Interesting, right? So very, very interesting. I like that energy for you. So that is your fortune cookie for this session. The King's Palace. All right. And then we will move on to number 2 here. I did have a few donations come in, so thank you guys. I do have, let me just grab those real quick here. So Black Goddess Intuitive Healer, of course, aka Amazing Grace. Yours will be after Crescent Moons. And then you do have 2 Let me put in here ×2. And then thank you, Lauren Lauren of Light. I love that. Sounds very medieval, like we were just talking about the fairy tales. Lauren of Light. So you'll be up after that. All right, that's where we're at right now. Okay. I believe so. Absolutely. Thank you so much. So we have Nelia, one more, and then Crescent Moon, and then 2 for Black Goddess Intuitive Healer. And then Lauren, you'll be up after that. Welcome, Nelia. So number 2. So we got the little peach coming in here. Let's see. Okay. What does Spirit want you to know regarding your current workplace? Okay, so we were going to talk about workplace. Will there be another job opportunity for you in the future? If so, when and what? All right, let's take a look here. Yes, thank you, Chris, for allowing her to step in front of you in line. It's like when you're at the grocery store and someone has a couple items. You go ahead. I can wait. So gracious. All right, let's take a look here. So, Nelia, so what to know about your current workplace? All right. I thought there would be something underlying here going on here too. Let's see what that's about. So will there be another job opportunity for you in the near future? Anything there? Anything elsewhere? Okay. Thank you. And if so, when and the what? All right. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it looks like you do have some decisions coming forward here. Bottom of the deck, you do have the 2 of Swords coming in. If I can make it flash there, you can see 2 of Swords. A little mirror, sitting and deciding. Mirror, mirror on the wall. There is very much this fairy tale energy going on in the world right now, it feels like. But let's see here what decisions are coming in. So what about your current workplace? You do have the High Priestess. Let's look at the High Priestess energy coming in. I like what the kitties. With the Knight of Wands. More kitties. So it feels here there is this stepping back, a lot of reflective energy about it's the quest, right, of my own power. What do I want to do? Where do I want to go? So I feel like we have more cards here for your current position or your current what you're doing and where you're working. But it feels like there's this nudge to pull back and kind of see things and go, what is it that I want? And I'm going to put my energy towards that. It's kind of an energetic shift. Instead of waiting for what will come my way, is what do I want to create? Because we are always creating. And if I'm not actively pursuing something, this is a great message for all of us. It's really resonating for me right now too. If I'm not putting energy toward what I'm wanting to go and do, I'm on an autopilot and it's just going to unfold according to whatever energy's in the moment, right? But if I will take my energy and focus it on something, then that's what's going to be drawn toward me. If not, I'm kind of just the energy around going on around me is deciding for me because I'm just taking it on and letting it happen, right? Just kind of not let go of the rudder. It's just whatever the rudder kind of hits and bumps into, kind of we change directions and go with that, right? Which sometimes that we can do that. We can go with the flow. But if I'm not like super happy and full and whoa, I love what's going on. If I'm like, bleh, then it's maybe that's a time for us to go, let me grab that rudder and what do I want to go over there. Let me steer my rudder that direction, right? So I like that. That's a good energy. Let's see this. I feel like this energy is what's going on at your work presently. Yeah, the 8 of Pentacles, pretty much doing the blood, the sweat, the tears, getting the reward. This is kind of like the doing the work, becoming the expert. It's the apprentice becoming the master. It's like I'm doing the grind, as they say, not chopping the water, chopping the wood and carrying the water. I'm doing the stuff, right? And the King of Cups, just this balance between head and heart. So this does feel like kind of almost stagnant energy where you're at now. And below all of that, we've got the death and the rebirth card coming in here. So it just feels like ready for a rebirth, ready for an ending and a new beginning at your current job here. It just doesn't feel like it's satisfying anymore. It needs to, it's like, how do they say it was in the movie 300. Who were they? The Greeks. They always wanted a good death in their battles. That's what it says. The job deserves a good death so that there can be a rebirth, of course. So let's take a look here. Is there a new position coming up for you available based on current energy and possibilities? Kind of just looking at possibilities on your current job. You do have the Queen of Pentacles. So there is a possibility of growing something at your current job. So there is possibilities of something, but it would have to be you actively going after it with all that energy there. Is there something else out there? Well, you do have the Magician card and the Strength card coming in here. It's beautiful, beautiful cards. I love this deck. Which does say there's something more in alignment with your higher self out there. But again, that magician energy, it's me discovering what it is, that high priestess. Let me go up and take a look. What is it that I want? Not what I think I'm supposed to want, but what is it that I want that would just make me like, just feel like I'm living I'm living, not existing energy. And that magician is, you have everything you need within you, of course, already. So it's more about how can I express this power and love and energy within me into the world in my own special, unique way. So I do like that here for you. So there is, pathways, which shows me that there's not a fated thing you have to do. There really isn't a whole lot of uh, as many fated things in our life as we are kind of taught to believe. There's like, one of the things that attracts us to this iteration of humanity is the world of possibilities, not a whole lot of knowing where all the paths lead, but also that there's not fated stuff that has to happen. We did a lot of that in past ones, and we're like, we're ready just to go and have fun, not have a vacation that's planned out from day one. You've had those vacations and where it's not a vacation at all. It's we will leave at 3 a.m., catch our flight. When we hit the ground, we're going to go do this and then check into our hotel. Once we do that, we're going to go do this and this and this. You need a vacation from your vacation when you get back. Well, this lifetime is we're going to go. We're just going to go with the flow. We're going to sit on the beach and by the pool and have some food. And if we feel like doing something, we're going to go do it. And if we don't, we don't. That's the kind of life that this iteration of humanity is. So there's not like a fixed, that after this, it's more, what do I want to do? And then we go do it, kind of energy. So when is this happening? 9 of Wands. The only barrier here is us and our magic wand. So it could be tomorrow, but we hold the key, both the Knight of Wands and the Magician, right? The 9 of Wands is like there's this barrier and I can't get through it. Well, the Ace of Wands, our Ace of Wands, our giant staff of magical staff, is one of those that's glowing. And if we're like, why is that one glowing? If we reach out and grab it, here's this space. We just slip right through this, what feels like a block, but it's us going, well, I don't know what is out there. It's like, let's go find out. Grab that magic wand and find out what we're wanting and step forward, not waiting for something to, magically appear, because there's nothing that is like destined or fated for you to, as far as job, what, to experience. You'll experience your growth there or here or there or there, wherever. There's not a supposed to, of course, around that. What kind of jobs are available out there? You have the 8 of Wands. there is this, energy with the Eight of Wands about so much. Yeah, there's the Nine of Wands. After you get through there, the energy just flows. It's like there's eight different wands. The eight wands that are left over are like maps to. It's interesting. They never showed me that before. It's like each of those wands. After you grab your wand, if you touch one of them, it'll give you. If you could take that, it's like eight different pathways, so there's eight different ways you could go as far as job. Some are more of your heart, some are more of your brain, and there's some that are that equal balance between the head and the heart. So you get to decide what it is. There's like, but they're saying there's eight different ways that you could go on doing things. But process of elimination, if they're saying you could do like your heart and go, heart, what do you want? And the heart's like, not that, not that, not that. And then you can go, brain, what about you? What concerns do you have about the remaining five? And they're like, well, if we do that, that's that's just gonna be short lived, because becoming a pot crochet holder, like the pot holders, the little cloth pot holders on the border of Canada, that's not going to get you very far. You're going to have to do something else if you want to eat, So there's things that the mind will be like, whoa, but we question even those thoughts that we have, because those can be rooted in fear. And if we can get our mind on board with our heart, our mind is very intelligent. It can find out ways that it wants to have things unfold. So interesting. So that's what they have for you, Nelia. Hopefully that helps a little bit. It helped me really go, yeah, what is it that I want? Instead of just waiting for something to come this way, what is it that I want to do? So I'm going to do some thinking myself. Maybe I'll see you you'll be in the High Priestess Temple on this mountain, and I'll be on this one. I'll wave at you. All right. So that's what they have for you, my dear. So thank you again for your dual donations. All right. So Crescent Moon, you are up. Thank you again for your graciousness and letting her go first for her too. Here's your timestamp. And I'm going to give that a love and a like, since it lets me with those. So good afternoon, Detective BZ, the best PI. You're so funny. So thank you for that here. So Spirit mentioned Sagittarius will take action towards you in, was it September, or was it supposed to be August? I think they changed it to September too, right? Because I think originally it was going to be August, got pushed into September. So it was around an air moon. Okay, they're catching me up. Spirit mentioned how Sagittarius wants to share with you the things they've been going through. Okay, very good. And so you'd like an energy check from Spirit as to if and when they will reach out. We'll definitely take a look here. All right. So energy check on the Sagittarius. Yeah, the ever-changing Sagittarius. What track are we on now, right? So will there be communication in September? Okay. Thank you. And if so, when? Got those and those two. Okay. And is it that Sagittarius, what is it that Sagittarius will share with you? I feel like that's what they started to talk about here. Anything else? Okay, and I got this. That leads to that. That leads to that with that underneath. This feels like the T, the secret, private, the PI stuff going on here. All right. All right, I think we are set and ready. So the bottom of the deck, which doesn't surprise me, we've got the Two of Wands energy coming in. You can see it says Two of Wands under there, which is the, especially when we're talking about future things, especially with some individuals, like we say, that have like ADHD going on in their life, like my Sagittarius host. She's so funny. We joke about it now that we're aware of it and it's been diagnosed, and she actually takes some meds for it here and there. we can tell when she's not. I'm like, you didn't take your meds today, right? And she'd be like, Well, I took my morning one, but I didn't take the booster in the afternoon." And then she goes, "I know, I'm squirreling." And I'm like, "That's all right. Just, it's good information to know so I can expect, from it too, is right, right?" Yeah. Yeah. So I see that with the Two of Wands. It all depends on the energy because if I focus on this, it changes things. If I focus on this, it brings that in, right? Upper, lower vibration. And I feel like this is their energy. It's like it's like if you look at like they're showing me like on a automobile, the speedometer usually goes like this, right? It usually goes that or the whereas if you have like a stick shift or a motorcycle or something, the little thing goes, the little energy that's being invested, it shows the RPMs or whatever. That's what I'm showing their speedometer looks like. And it's like, whoa, what's happening here? So very much the unpredictability. So again, I feel like they bring that up in each of the readings around this, just as a reminder. But it's like, grab it. Okay, this is what, it's like, do you ever have those memes that you see like on Instagram or something where it's flashing, flash, and you take a screenshot so you could see what messages, because there's a tons of messages. But if you screenshot, that's your message. That's what I feel like trying to figure out a time frame on stuff for them is like that. It's like, take a quick picture. Okay, that was it for that second. But that doesn't mean that's what it's going to continue to be. So there is a lot of, I don't want to say like volatility, but just a lot of energy around their choices and reactionary energy, um, like squirreling energy, you know, very ADHD, over here, over there kind of energy. But we'll see. So all that said, that's the bottom of the deck. Um, so what are we looking at in energy right now? Will there be? Well, we have the Ten of Cups. That's a very happy celebration kind of energy, right? That's why you check in. Where are we today? So this is good. Yeah, because maybe eventually it'll be consistent. We'll be like, they must have got meds. They're taking their meds or got an increase, right? So this is good. Good positive energy. Ten of Cups energy is, of course, joy. It's one of the huge overflowing emotional energies. So that is an affirmative for us. The when, are we going to get another? We got the Eight of Wands. That's fire energy, flowing fire energy, and the Four of Pentacles. Interesting energy here because and I feel like this other two cards will give us more timing as well. But this is a lot of movement of energy. The Four of Pentacles is a solid foundation in the outside world. It's Virgo, earthy energy that I feel coming in. It's interesting. As soon as I saw those two together, I just heard Virgo eclipse energy, which happens to be, we just had the first Virgo new moon last Saturday. A week from tomorrow, we have the Pisces full moon lunar eclipse, which is part of the eclipse season. 2 weeks after that, we've got September, let's see, 7th, I think, September 7th. So it'd be like the 21st would be the second Virgo new moon. So, but I feel like this energy is, it's all going on right now. So it could be like, I feel like it's any time between this last Virgo new moon and the next Virgo new moon because of this energy that's just flowing in with all this eclipse energy. Let's see what else they have here too. Yeah, we got the Phoenix. I love that. This is new to this. Specific to this disc. desk, deck. Oh my gosh, desk, deck. I'll get it. I'm all excited. The Empress energy. Maybe I'm channeling their energy. I'm like, whoa, I need to turn that down. But the Empress is new beginnings, creativity, and the Phoenix is a special one of the two special cards in this specific tarot deck, and it's about new birth and rebirth and the ignition of things. So, and this is very much eclipse energy, which is all about significant endings, beginnings that happen during the eclipse season too. So, I do feel it's um, like it can be at any moment, kind of energy. It's like it could be any day between all this, because the amount of flow of energy, it's igniting so much in all of us, but especially like this fire energy um, that's coming in here for them. It can just like in a whim. Oh, I'm gonna call. Hey, instead of like it won't be a planned. I'm gonna plan to call you. It's gonna be like a oh, I need to go do the dishes. You know what? I'm gonna call you real quick. Hey, what are you doing? And you're just like, hey, and I feel like they're on their way to something, and they just decided to call you. You know, kind of energy that's coming in here. So interesting. So we'll find out here more about um, what is it that they're going to share, right? We have the Five of Wands. Yeah, so the conflict, Five of Wands energy. That is the conflicting energy, right? The struggles. Oh gosh, you won't believe what's been going on with me. Yeah, the Five of Wands, and then the Hierophant too, which is the major arcana number 5, which is about what I've been learning, what I've been realizing, the clarity, what life's been teaching me, and then, but it is all about change and change and change that's been coming in too, right? So I definitely feel this. It is going to be sharing a lot about the changes and stuff. Then we have the under the surface, the private investigator stuff, right? Yeah, we got the Three of Cups, which is about joy and community and gatherings. I feel like there's a bit of talking about um, like friends groups. I don't know if because I don't you guys didn't go to school, but it feels like a reunion of some kind. I don't know. I don't think it's a high school reunion or college reunion or something like that, but it just feels like if you guys have mutual friends, there's something about, hey, I heard that this is going to be happening. If there's like someone's getting married, someone's having a party, someone's having a reunion, just feels like there's this joyful gathering with this Three of Cups energy, but it feels like it's mutual people that that are getting together or something. But it just feels like they're like talking about, you know, hey, are you going to that? Again, all over the place. We have the Justice card that's coming in here under the surface stuff. Yeah, we've got the Justice card. So here's the Justice name there. And this is about clarity, balance. Again, a lot of what I've realized about life and things. And I think we've talked about before about how, I'm realizing how I did things, how I said things. Just like I'm realizing, because I feel like things were how they might have said things to you or acted with you, people have been doing with them, and they're really realizing, oh, wow. Oh, it's like they're reminding me, like, this had nothing to do with what happened between you two guys, but my dad kind of, well, didn't kind of, he cheated on my mom during their 20 years of marriage. And then in his second marriage, his wife ended up cheating on him. His third wife ended up cheating on him with another woman. And it was then when we had some conversations, he was like, he called and he apologized to my mom because he was like, now I really, really get the impact I had and how my decisions had on you. And I'm so sorry, and she was like, my mom was in shock. She called me. You won't believe what just happened. I'm like, what? So I feel like this is that mirror of things. This is what I feel is coming in here. And what else do we have here? Yeah, the Nine of Swords. So they're really realizing a lot of their fears that they had, and so this is a lot of realization. So a lot of growth, and of course, because of their energy, how fast they're always moving and going. It's like trying to read a book, doing 10 things at the same time. It takes you a long time to finish a book, right? Versus if you spend time and commit time to sit down and read and you're able to focus. But it's like they read a paragraph and they take off to go do something else. They come back and they do that. And they go, takes them a while to really, and then they're like, wow, I just finished this chapter. Wow. And you're like, chapter? You didn't say book? No, I finished the first chapter of the book. Wow, I'm on to the, eighth book in the series. Yeah, she did. She did. She was just like, wow, she definitely feels a lot different about him than she used to. Learned a lot. Sees him as a different person, not even as that, especially with his fourth wife. She's a retired RN, one of the sweetest, most wonderful people. And my dad is totally, he's found more about his inner self too. So, it's good. Oh, I'm glad, Lauren. You're like, you can't wait to get to yours. Let's see what your fortune cookie comes in here as well. Here, Crescent Moon. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, you got the box. What is waiting for you? Dun, dun, dun. Card number, whoops, just dropping everything. Card number 2 of the diamonds. Let's jump in there. So in fairy tales, an unopened box or casket represents a secret. It also represents temptation. You might be told not to open it, but you have a sense that the secret it shelters is a secret that you need to uncover. Here we go. A positive outcome isn't guaranteed, though. We can never know before we open it just what the box contains and whether what we find inside will hurt us or help us. And the contents of the box might be dangerous in the wrong hands, right? What is that? Pandora's box? In the story, Cupid and Psyche knows exactly what is in the box that she's been sent down to the underworld to fill. It contains a fragment of the beauty of Persephone. Yeah, that's right. Queen of the dead. But although she's been forbidden to do so by the goddess Venus, she can't resist opening it to take a peek. And when she does, what she finds inside is an infernal and Stygian sleep, which sends her into a deep coma. But it's the chance that Psyche takes in opening the box and its consequences that cause Cupid to come finally, that cause Cupid to come finally to find her. He awakens her with a kiss. Oh, the box then is a test of our courage and daring and of our commitment to risking everything for the sake of the journey. How fun. So the question to ask is there a box in your life that you fear to open? Do you have the courage to face its contents? What might be the blessing or the curse that it contains? Dun, dun, dun. It's the mystery. I love that. And I feel like that's what they're bringing in here. It's the magic here, the magic of the unknown, the mystery. That can be scary, but it also can be the exciting thing of, because our inner child doesn't like the unknown, but we like the adventure and the journey that can be coming forward. So I like that. So hopefully that helps a little bit with the current energy check-in. So that is what they have for you, my dear. So many blessings to you. Thank you again for your donation. All right. And then we have Amazing Grace, also known as Black Goddess Intuitive Healer. I know YouTube started using our original at whatever signs those are. Whoa, mouse gone wild. And so it looks weird. So let's see here. We've got those. Oh, we had another one come in here too. All right. So let me just put this in here. So for donations, we have Black Goddess Intuitive Healer ×2, and then we'll jump to Lauren. And then we have Maria P came in via Z PayPal as well. All right. So Black Goddess, you want the most important thing that you need to know right now is for your first one. Thank you for your dual donations via Z CashApp. Let's see what we got here. What's the most important thing for you to know right now? Okay. And this one and this one. Like these two here too. All right. What's on the bottom here? Wow. Yeah. The Page of Wands. Beautiful, beautiful power energy, right? Here, just so you can see it says the Page of Wands on the bottom there. This is what's the most important thing for know is your power over your life, and that you are the creator of your life. Your energy, your focus is what draws in your life. And I feel like that's probably one of our most important things for all of us to know, that my life doesn't just happen to me. I'm not a little kid in a car seat in the back seat being taken by the universe wherever we're going to go. No, I'm in the driver's seat. My energy is what is taking me down the road and drawing things across my path. And so when I'm not aware of my energy, it's on autopilot. Who knows what it's bringing in, right? It's like if you're on a sailboat and you don't, put something around the steering wheel to keep it in place. If you go below deck, who knows where we're going to end up? So it's about being conscious and being at the helm of our life to see where it goes. I also feel here with the Page of Wands, there is an increase of energy in your life that's being expanded and being flooded to where it's bringing in things that are very much faster and bigger. So if I'm focusing on higher vibration, gratitude and unconditional love and play and laughter and all that, I get more of that. It's like it comes in faster and bigger. But also if I'm focusing on my fears and lack, I draw that in fast too. And I feel like they're saying here, it's important for you to know that your power just in general is boom, but also with the Page of Wands, they're like, you're in a period of time, and it has to do with all this eclipse energy and your alignment with all the planets. It's expansive. So it's like, be very, very aware. It's like speaking into a microphone. But if the volume's up, it's like, be very careful even what you whisper, because it's going to be really loud to the universe, and they're bringing stuff in. So I feel like that's important for you to know there. Let's see what this extra cards are here too. Yeah, you have the Knight of Swords. So there is a lot of clarity that's coming into your life through all this. The Five of Pentacles, yeah. The beliefs of lack that we have below the surface, that we maybe have, that were stuffed so deep that they're still bubbling down there. So I do feel like there's some clarity around lack, around focusing on need and want. It's like, where's this strong desire of need and want in my life? Because that is lack energy that will that'll push away. It'll draw more lack in, but it pushes the stuff that we're wanting and feel we're needing away further from us, because our energy is saying, you know what I'd really like? What's that? I would like to experience more lack. Okay, we'll bring that for you. They're supportive of all of our energy. Of course, spirit doesn't see it, anything is right or wrong, just different choices, different experiences, different outcomes. And so whatever we're talking about, and focusing on the most is what they're like, oh, this is what you want for your life, right? So what else we have here? Yeah, and the Two of Cups. So it might be around relationships, of course. That's a big one for all of humanity, right? But it does feel like it's a lack around, I want a relationship. I'm ready for marriage. I'm ready for that lover. I'm ready for that deep relationship. I really want it. I need it. We can get that way sometimes. I know in my lifetime. I'm more in hermit mode now. I'm more uh I'm just a couple years, less than 2 years away from 60. I'm kind of in the crone age of I'm happy alone. But I remember those times of like, I just want love. But so there is some focus on that here. Let's see what's below the surface here. Yeah, the Six of Pentacles. And that makes sense. The Six of Pentacles energy, we go back. I feel like we've talked about this probably before, so my apologies if they're rehashing and reiterating. It's just always good for us to remember, because that's the the scales of giving and receiving, right? How when we're younger, 7 years old and younger, is when we get our rate of exchange of how much I have to give to how much I receive, right? And we're taught I have to give 1,000 love coins before I get one. And we're kids. That seems fair. And that goes down to our subconscious and it's running on autopilot down there. That's why we tend to be over givers. I have to give and give and give and give and give before I can deserve a little. And even though consciously I'm like, I want to be able to maybe even want to receive more than I give or equal, give and receive. Our inner child's like, no, 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 that's not they're keeping track on a little chalkboard of how many times we're giving love. Then once we get to 1,000, then they'll let the force field come down and allow you to have the one coin. And then it's like, 1,000 days of no accidents in the warehouse. There's an accident, it resets to zero. The force fields go back up and we start working on a new 1,000 to deserve another coin. And I feel like this is a lot of energy that's coming up that's down there just to clarify, to clear out things so that you can bring this rate of exchange out consciously, forgiving, releasing the individuals. Usually parents are primary suspects when we're younger. We're giving so much to them, at least from our perspective. We feel like we're giving so much to them and we're getting so little back because they're trying to live life like we all are, right? Giving love to all the children, to their friends, their spouse, their parents, their family, work, this, that, their dreams. There's not a whole lot left over, right? Like, here's your crumb, is what we feel like as children. Well, I gave you so much and this is what I get. Well, I guess that's fair. That's what we believe. That's what's running on autopilot. So I feel like that's a lot of what's coming up here and what's most important for you to know. Yeah, Ace of Cups, your self-love energy, and the Emperor. Yeah, here's you stepping in, and which is like King of Wands energy. It's I stand in my power. I'm the one who gets to use my Page of Wands, my mighty energy to create portals into what I want to create in life, right? So I like that for you. I feel like we want to do your fortune cookie for this one. So we'll do that. I did fortune cookies for everyone, right? Yeah. Okay. Make sure I'm not falling down on the job here. So let's give you your fortune cookie and we'll go on to your second question. So what else does Spirit want you to know right now? Okay, this is the one. And you've got word magic. Wow. Here's the magic. So let's take a look here. Number 8, the diamond. The diamond, number 8. All right, let me take a quick sip here. Cheers to everybody. Take a sip of my coffee here. All right. So, in the old traditions of Europe, words had power. That's why they called it spelling, right? The right words spoken in the right place at the right time And sometimes, while adopting a particular stance could quite literally change the world, they could make it or unmake it. Wow, that's like our what we're speaking, what our energy, right? They could topple kings or conjure up winds. A plant wouldn't heal you unless words were spoken over it. Words spoken in the language of a place, words which both named and reflected the deeper stories of elements of the landscape, opened you up to their mystery and bound you to the land. Addressing a crow, offering a praise poem to a tree, such conversations and poems and songs were natural ways of interacting with the animate and expressive eloquence of the world around us. In fairy tales, words have power too, especially when they're used to name. There are many fairy tale heroines who defeat a villain by learning their true name. Of course, Rumpelstiltskin, a little man ensnares a young girl into a magical contract she later regrets. It's only when she learns and then speaks his name that she's able to break the contract and keep the firstborn child that he would have taken from her. In other tales, little rhymes or chants spoken um, at just the right time can reveal the truth of a story and so similarly save the day. I like that. It's like almost speaking those things below the surface, allow them to come up and be released from the dungeons that are in our subconscious, right? Your questions are: what words have power for you now, and how can you use them? And what is it that you need to speak out loud? Ooh, wow. Those are some pretty deep questions, right? So that's your magic, your word magic. So, what are you telling yourself? What is your inner child telling yourself too? All right. So that's for number one. Thank you again for your dual donations. Number two, you'd like a message from your husband, your future husband there. All right. Let's take a look. The husband, as I always say. Let's find out. What is your husband going to tell you here? All right. All right. They want that. And they want that. They want that. They don't want all those. All right. All righty. Let me just get these scooched out. These are like little tidbits. So, bottom of the deck, we have the King of Wands coming in here. So this wonderful energy, like what we had of managing your energy, managing your power. I feel like they're saying they're listening. Their higher self, of course, is engaged with your life already right now. So they're watching your life while they're experiencing theirs too, because we can multitask as spirit, luckily. Um, but they're like, yeah, me too. I'm also working on standing in my power, realizing what I am investing my energy. So this most important thing that you needed to know in your first reading, they're like, yeah, that's what I'm focusing on too, because you guys are living this parallel energy, right? Where you're learning so much and growing so much so that you're raising your love vibration to where you meet. He's like, yeah, I'm working on my Five of Swords energy, which is my battle between my head and my heart. I'm working through this stuff. I think I'm back. I'm typing in the chat. Yay! I know my host. She texted me going, "Everything's down." We've been having some funkiness with the internet ever since they updated something a few weeks ago. Just like we do good for a while, and then all of a sudden, especially if it's storming out. So I don't know what's happening. So thank you. Hopefully, not too much was missed. I saw it say the chat was disconnected, so hopefully it didn't go too weird. But thankfully, I'm grateful that we're reconnected. So I'm not sure how far we got when it disconnected, but I'm talking about the Celestial Weaver, and this is for Amazing Grace, Black Goddess Intuitive Healer for your second one, just in case. And then we had the King of Swords and the Magician. So they were talking about that you guys are on this parallel journey, and there's a lot of clarity around what it is I really want in my life. What is my dream? And that's a big part of it, because there is this energy here of going, like, I have my dream that I want to live in life, and you have your dream that you want to live in life. Part of that dream is to, have someone that you can love and trust and be with, and be this beautiful reflection of that love inside, that love from above with each other. But that's something that we're sharing our lives. We're not, like, they're not becoming your life and you're not becoming their life, but you're sharing your lives. And that's an important thing, because they're like, um having, like, finding my partner being our dream and our life and our only purpose isn't going to cut it when we find each other, because I'm going to be living what I want and you're living what you want. And we'll share things, but there's still that dream that's important for you to live. That this Magician card is this within you that you're wanting to live and express this in the world. So I like it, because I feel like you're like, good, because that's what I want to do too, right? So I feel like you guys are like-minded in that they don't expect you to give up all of your life to become part of their life, or and vice versa, that you share lives. It's like you're the empress of Egypt and they're the ruler of Rome. You don't try to take over each other's countries, but you're next door to each other, and you trade back and forth, and you visit each other's countries, and you're together. But you're also maintaining your lives. That's funny. Cleopatra and Antony. Too funny. All right, so let's see what else we have here too. You got, yeah. Here's the Emperor. Okay, I thought, oh, we're gonna get the Empress, but we have the Hanged Man, which is, this great energy of the Emperor again. It's like the King of Wands. We deciding what we want individually, making a plan and putting action behind it, and the transformation of understanding and getting out of our head around what we think we're supposed to do and what we want to live, what we want to do, and then um, supporting each other in what we're both wanting to independently do, is an important piece of all this. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, you have the Sun card. Yeah, being true to your authentic self, not dimming your light, not asking permission to shine. They're saying here, like, um, what is the? It's a 2-star system, and they're like, there can be two. The We're not going to have two suns come together and become one big sun. We're gonna share orbits. Things are going to We're going to orbit around each other, and things are going to orbit around us. But we're not coming together. That's funny. We're not. Neither one of us is consuming the other. We're going to share and do a bi star system. I love that. Six of Pentacles. Yeah, this is that equal giving and receiving energy, being aware of codependency, the overgivingness we talked about earlier. They're like, yeah, me too. I had to learn that. Both of you have that overgiving energy, and so you'll be able to keep each other balanced with that. Because in the past, you guys end up with takers, people who take more and more and more, and you feel like you have to give more and more to where you're exhausted, and then you're resentful, right? And those don't end too well. Yeah, and the Six of Swords. Here's the sea. We were talking about being at sea here. So I like this energy here of, leaving old ways of thinking behind, this flow, this equal energy, this equal going from choppy waters to calmer waters, and being two ships on a journey and going together on adventures together, um, kind of energy that comes in here. So I like that. I feel like it's a an encouraging message of I'm learning my stuff too. You look even on the bottom underneath everything else, we got the Phoenix, the other card, right, rising from the ashes together. That's funny. The Phoenix. Let's see, what is it? Because the Phoenix is a sub collective of the, what is it when the Leo energy aligns not with Orion, right? I forget. It doesn't matter, but it's just a confirmation of the dual binary star system. It's a reference to that system for me. So I love that. So hopefully that helps. That's what they have for you. Amazing Grace, aka Black Goddess Intuitive Healer. So many blessings to you. All righty. So let me just grab here real quick and we'll head over here to Lauren. Thank you so much. All right, let me just check timestamps here. Okay. Whoa. Mouse gone wild. All right. So for donations, we've got Lauren of Light. You'll be up next. Yay! And then we have Maria P. via the PayPal. And then we have Crescent Moon. Thank you for your additional one. And then we have Sean G. via the CashApp. So that's where we're at on donations right now. So that's what we'll do here. So Lauren of Light, let's grab your timestamp here. Thank you so much for your donation via the CashApp here. Really appreciate that. And I don't think there's anything over here. I think you did yours full over here. All right. And your question is up here. I believe. Yes, you would like to know upcoming energies for your relationship and what's coming in the near future. Is there anything that you should do? Anything you could do to, make things impact it in positive ways, right? All right. So let's take a look here. What we have going on here. Buckle up. Here we go. All right. Well, if you want that one coming off here, let me just make sure I've got everything here. So upcoming energies for your relationship first here. So, okay, we got that. And then these. I hear raindrops against the window. All right. So that's what's coming in the near future, and anything that you can do, any advice they have here for you. Yeah, Thursday night we had hail against the window. It was like, bam, 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 bam. It was so loud. I'm like, maybe I should wait and continuing to read because there was, it was loud. All right. So let's take a look here. What is coming for the relationship here? You do have the Six of Cups. Ooh, wow. So Six of Cups energy is not someone coming back from the past kind of energy. This is bringing in a lot of past life energy. So if you haven't met someone yet, you'll recognize them. I joke that when you meet someone with this kind of past life energy, the familiarity, the connection, the depth of meeting someone with a lot of strong past life connections is like they're glowing in the dark and they have a rainbow shooting out of their butt. You're like, I think that's them. It's going to be that obvious with this energy that you have going on with them. So I love that because you won't have to wonder if it's them or not, right? You've been dating 9 months. So you have that with them, right? I mean, you recognize it and they might even recognize it too, but that they're just like, I feel like I know you, like I've known you before, like I know somewhere, So I like that, awareness and that you guys have below the surface, which you being very intuitive and being very connected, you know, obviously, more so than they are. They're not oblivious, but your depth of your empathic abilities and how deeply you feel emotion, you're like, yeah, I feel that flood and I'm wondering where is all this coming from? It feels like so much so quickly, but it's because it's floods from past lifetimes. And the energy that we're going on in the planets and everything right now too. Like last year, we got like 1% more access to our subconscious world, which is one of the pathways that to the Akashic records. This year, Spirit was saying we've been getting like 1% more every month. It's just like exponentially our connection to our subconscious world. So our dreaming is crazy. The amount of emotion we're feeling, the past life energies we've been feeling, just off the charts. Um, but it's part of our transformation as of humanity. So, you know, we thought we were empathic and feeling stuff before. This year is like being on steroids, right? Emotionally. Let's see what else is headed your way here. So I like that confirmation of that. What else? You've got the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, there's this balancing of cycles here. And I feel like there's something that kind of ebbs and flows in the relationship between the two of you, that it's slowing, it's becoming more consistent, where it doesn't feel like as um well, it's not like it feels like it's rocky, but it feels like you're on, you guys met each other during kind of rocky, I want to say rocky stages in your guys' lives, but it felt like there was a lot of rough water going around both of you. And now it feels like you guys are heading off into calmer waters with this Two of Pentacles. And because it doesn't feel like it's what was going on necessarily between the two of you. It feels like what was going on around the outside of you guys. And it feels like there's this balance coming into both of your lives. So the energy that's around you by choices that you guys have made, you're coming into calmer waters, and so things feel more stable, things feel really calming down, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I like that energy. And that will continue. Ooh, I love it. So the celestial weaver, this is a beautiful energy. In fact, it's unique to this um, deck, and I love this, how they state this. So I want to read this one. It's not very long, but this is it's so perfect too. I love it because it's about power, manifestation, and interconnected interconnectedness. It says, here is a power card for you today. This is a message for you to fully allow to sink in. Weave the fabric of your reality through your thoughts, your intentions, and your actions. Every thread you weave has a ripple effect in the universe. Be mindful of your thoughts and intentions. They are what shall create a beautiful tapestry of life. You are part of a greater cosmic dance. Your existence is meaningful and interconnected with all that is, all part of the unifying field of consciousness. You are the weaver of your destiny, and with each movement you make, weave love, kindness, and harmony into the world around you. Remember, it's natural for you. I love that, because this is about, because we're talking about your guys' relationship, being aware of the energy that we put in, right? When I'm focusing on what I love about someone, what they're doing, what I have had, I get more of that, right? We as humans are taught to focus in on what they're not doing. It's like the expectations, right? We're given a lot of opinion about who they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to do, what the relationship, how it's supposed to progress, supposed to, and um, what the relationship is supposed to bring me and what I'm supposed to do. It's all this opinion, expectations. And when we focus on that, we actually end up focusing on what's not happening instead of being grateful for what is. And what happens when we focus on lack, we get more lack, right? When I focus on my need, my want energy, I actually, that's lack energy. I get more expectations not being met to help me break that cycle of being in expectations. So I like this. You are part of weaving this beautiful energy of this relationship between the two of you. So I like that. It's kind of one of those things, kind of foreshadowing. Anything I could do, well, be aware of my energy. Am I focusing on what I'm grateful for, or am I focusing on what's not happening? Because whatever I focus on, I'm going to draw more in, right? So I love that. Oh, we have the lovers card. Boom, boom, boom. I love it. It is an important relationship. I do feel like this has such, especially with the Six of Cups energy, there is such a faded energy between the two of you. So you both really have had decided we are going to experience this together in this lifetime. And we'll see what else comes in here. I don't want to look beyond this relationship right now to see, is this like the one forever? Is there possibilities of this being forever? Or because with this Weaver, I do feel like you didn't choose a one person that it was going to be it for your entire life. I feel like depending on your choices, you would end up with this person or this person, or these choices end up with this person. And you're weaving this um, as well as they are. And I feel like this can be the forever person if you want it to be, but it's not like um, all paths lead. Because some lifetimes they'll show me like a map, and there's just one blob across the entire one, which is that other person. It's just a matter of when and how long you'll be with someone. But this feels more like, because of the choices and stuff you've made, this is why they're in your life. So, but it is this faded, they were um, one of the multiple choices, depending on what route you took. And that's why you've come across each other's path because of the choices you guys have made. Interesting, right? You have the death and rebirth card, the Phoenix energy. This, and I was going to say, I bet I'm going to get another reincarnation, past life energy, and that's what this card is. This you've had many lifetimes as lovers before. We usually have a wide variety of characters that we play in different lives, but you guys have shared that love energy a lot in a lot of lifetimes. Um, and I feel like you guys want to experience some more different aspects and different perspectives of love that you haven't had in the past. So I like that here. Yeah, he's going through awakening too, right? Yeah. All right. Well, let's see here. What was the other part here? I already forgot. Oh, what's coming in the near future. So based on current energies, of course, let's see where you guys are headed. Yeah, you have the Four of Wands energy. Four of Wands energy is joy, celebration, balanced energy. Can be the marriage card. Just saying. And the world card, too. Victory, end of a significant cycle, beginning of new adventure. So there definitely is, the future where you're headed here. If your energy wants to take you there, it can lead to that, right? So, oops. Don't mean to spoil a little surprise, but it can lead that direction. That's coming in here. Let's see what else for the future here. Yeah, we have the Ten of Swords, which is letting go of expectations, kind of energy that here, right? Oh, yeah, there you go. So there you go. Your connection. And the Ten of Swords is that, it's usually someone laying down with all the swords stuck in their back, which is, I'm exhausted trying to live up to all these expectations. And so it is about letting the expectations go, focusing on what I'm grateful for, right? Because who doesn't want to be in a relationship where all you're talking to each other about is what I love about you, what I'm grateful about you. This is what I love about you, not why didn't you do this? You're not doing that. You didn't do this in the right timing. Blah blah blah. That's sucks the life out of a relationship. And this 10 of swords is I'm done trying to please other people, trying to fit into all these opinions, and I'm going to celebrate what I have instead. And the other card that came in with that, yeah, is the Eight of Pentacles. That's transformational energy. The Eight of Pentacles, it's like the apprentice turning to the master, and it is this change and transformative energy like you talked about. It's that you're both cocooning and turning into butterflies because you're tired of doing caterpillar things, having caterpillar experiences, lower vibration. You guys are ready for a higher vibration, not doing what we've always done and getting what we've always gotten. We want something more. And I feel like you're both in that type of energy. And then we have four cards here for the what advice they have. What can you do? Yeah, the Hanged Man. Just continue to focus on your own transformation. I can't do anything about their mental stories, their emotions, their choosing, their energy, their physical actions. I can only choose my own stories, let go of what no longer serves me. I get to choose my emotions, letting go of the emotions that don't serve me, relationships that don't serve me anymore, energy that doesn't serve me, things and purging stuff out of my life that doesn't, like physically, like things out of my life too. It is this thing here, right? Oh, they can't see their own wings, right? That's why they like hanging around with other butterflies because, like, I love your wings. I love your wings, right? You get to mirror yourselves back to each other. But the Hanged Man is like the Eight of Pentacles for me. It is that usually it's someone hanging upside down from a tree, which reminds me of a cocoon. And I usually use that same analogy for both. So it's focus on your cocoon, let them focus on theirs, because you can raise your love vibration, they raise theirs, right? And it's independent. The Four of Pentacles, yeah, also realizing with the Four of Pentacles that, you know, um, our self-worth comes from self, not from the outside world. So things that we can look at and learn is that, we're taught define our worth by the three buckets of relationships, situations, and things. But all of those are unstable. And as long as we go inward and upward and find the stability of that eternal unconditional love, very stable, right? Eternal forever is very stable. Unconditional, no conditions, not even one, is very stable. Nothing we can do to earn it, nothing we can do to lose it. It's just ours. We let that be the definition of who we are. Then the rest of the world feels stable. But when I define myself by like relationships with humans, people change, people walk away, people pass away. Unstables, when I define myself by those, I feel unstable. Situations like jobs, education, social status, anything we get into, that, of course, is unstable. And so when we define ourselves by that, unstable, and things, our bodies, our bank accounts, our possessions, those things deteriorate, blow up, burn down, um, are stolen, So this thing that we can do is focus on my self worth comes from inside me, and because when I look to the outside world of what my value is, that's retail price. And we usually end up on the clearance rack, right? So this transformation is finding my worth in here. And then I don't, I don't feel the instability of relationships and anything in the outside world. I feel a solid foundation from the inside out. I love that. What else here for you? Yep, the strength card, finding your inner strength. That's your higher self and your human self. So focusing on your relationship with your inner and upward is very much here, but that's stepping into your strength, finding your inner strength, um, energy, of course. And then, the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah. Ten of Pentacles is an energy of, it is relationship energy, but it's also about realizing like what my definition of success is. It kind of coordinates with that Ten of Swords, which is like letting go of expectations and definitions of what things mean and are supposed to mean. Really, a lot of the stories that we have been taught around what people's actions or non-actions, their words or their silence mean, and that I get to define that. I get to redefine that by my choices, not by the opinions that I've been given a lot. So I love where this is headed for you. Um, let's grab your fortune cookie here too. See what we got going on in this wonderful fairy tale romance. So let's see what else we have here. All right. Like this is the one here. And you've got disguising, card number 5. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see what this is about here. The 5 of circles. I think those are in the front. Yep, here we are. All right. So a fairy tale heroine caught up in a difficult circumstance will often find herself having to conceal who she really is. Perhaps her true identity has been stolen by another. Perhaps she's fleeing from danger and needs anonymity. In all these cases, she'll be required to hide her real nature until it's safe to emerge into the bright daylight of her own truth. Like Cinderella, her disguise might require her to conceal her beauty by wearing rags and covering her face with soot and ashes. Or like the feisty princess in the English tale Catskin, who refuses to marry anyone but the man she loves, she might escape by clothing herself in a coat made from 1,000 kinds of animal skin. There are always times in our lives when we need to go underground, when we need to be anonymous, or when, for our own protection, we need to hide who we really are and try on different personas for a while. But for any heroine who adopts such a disguise, the day will come when the tattered hood or the cloak made of all kinds of fur can be discarded and the radiance of her true self can shine again in a world that finally knows knows how to value her. Sounds like the caterpillar turning into the butterfly, right? The disguise of the caterpillar, the cocoon, eventually, boom, here I am. Bitches, here I am. Here's my wings. This is who I really am. But I love this. Finally, someone who knows how to value her. And I feel like this is someone who does that. The questions are, what part of you is wearing a disguise right now? What are we maybe unaware of that we are dimming or dimming our light in some way? And what needs to happen so that you can reveal your true self? I love that. Little more transformation, right? And it is the number 5, which in numerology is the number of change and, continuing to evolve more and more and more into the butterfly, right? So I like that for you, Lauren. So that's what they have for you right now. Thank you again for your donation. I'm excited for this adventure that you're on. All right. So happy to have you here. You fit right in with the crew, with the Zen friends. So welcome. You are very welcome. All right. Hey, Debbie. Oh, hello, hello. Good to see you. All right. So where are we at here? All right. So Maria P, you are up. So Maria P, we're at 136.36. Look at that. All right. Whoops. Put that down here. So thank you for your donation. Let's get over here to your questions. And let me take a quick sip here of coffee. Cheers, everybody. I was reading that, Debbie, like Zenth like I have a lisp or something. All right. So let's take a look here. Maria. Let's step into your and Wally's energy. Let's see what's going on here. So, Wally's thoughts and feelings towards you today. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, thoughts and feelings. What is he up to today? God only knows. I'm just kidding. What is he? All right, 2 for that. Um, has he even been thinking about you today? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it keeps changing Zen to Zenith. Hey, the Zenith, the Zenith, isn't that like at the forefront of something, like at the threshold of something? We'll take a look here. Updates on the dark side today. Okay. He mentioned that after 18, he doesn't have to pay child support. He's already looking into that. He doesn't have to pay. So let's take a look here. All right. Oh, yeah, the TV, right? The Zenith TV. Too funny. All right. So Wally's thoughts and feelings towards you today. All right. Well, look at this. It's changed into romantic feelings. We got the Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups. Movement of emotion, thinking about romance, happy thoughts, higher emotional thoughts here too, towards you. So this evening they really settled into that romantic kind of energy, but more of their emotional center. Happy thoughts with those. So that's a positive energy. Anything else around that? This movement. They just feel like they want to act on it. We'll see here what he's up to today, right? Um, what is this? Because I just feel like there's activity keeping them, but you're on their heart, and we'll find out about the mind. Has even been thinking about me today. He's been feeling about you today for sure in their heart. What has he got going on here? The 5 of Wands. A lot of conflicting energy there. 5, that battle energy, right? And the 4 of Cups. Yeah, trying to find emotional stability here with that 4 of Cups. But it just feels like boring stuff. It's like doing the stuff that they need to do. But there's this 5 of Wands, which is some conflicting energy. But there's also the 5 of Wands is about group friends and hanging around with like groups. So I feel like they've been spending a lot of time doing things with people and having to do this, needing to go do that, going over here. And then it feels like, are they at some sort of gathering? I don't know if they have, poker night again is coming back to my mind for some reason, but it's like that kind of energy that they're showing me in my head of it's something that we do and something that I kind of I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about you're on their heart. So they have this, I wish I could go, spend time with you, but I got other obligations, you know. Let's see here. Has he been thinking about you today? Yep, the 5 of Cups. So there is this sorrow energy here, the 5 of Cups. So that does tell me they have been, because they are like sad about, oh, I want to interact with you more, and I feel like because I'm not, that you're probably sad. I don't want to make you sad. And so that's the kind of all this 5 energy of conflicting energy too, that's going on here. So, oh, the little boo boo. Updates on the dark side for today. Yeah, we got the 2 of Cups. So this 2 of Cups is this mirroring energy that's going on here, because it is 2 females facing one another here. But this is like emotional choice energy. And this 4 of Cups and this, it's like I do feel like the dragon is in their fire mode, especially with all this energy we've got going on with eclipses. It's fiery. It's energy that it's like demands endings and beginnings energy. And so I feel like there's a lot of emotional turmoil going on around them on the dark side over there. But he's trying to keep it civil and calm so that everything doesn't get burned. Um, this isn't energy trying to make up with them or anything like that at all. So don't worry. This is definitely an energy of mirroring, and they're definitely through conflict mirroring a lot of stuff that they're feeling back to themselves. So very conflicting energy, but they are trying to keep things, because they do share a child together, and we're always going to care about people in our lives, right? They're making it very hard for Wally to to stay civil, because they're pushing his buttons and he's trying to make the right emotional choices, um, because he doesn't want to be the jerk in things, but she's not making it easy for him. And then the um, child support. Is he thinking about those things? Yeah, yeah. Five of Pentacles. All this five energy. There's a lot of conflict that's happening right now for him, but that's the energy of one side of it is the money, making the belief in lack, and now I'll get that money back and I won't have to do this. And, but, they're looking at the whole big picture because they also don't, they have those fears about being left behind, abandonment, being left out in the cold. And they don't want their son to feel that way, that, all right, you're 18, too bad. You're on your own now. Good luck. They love their son and they do want to, um, you know, don't, they don't want to take actions that will make it easier for their son to feel abandoned, feel left out and do that, but that they want to, you know, do what's right from their heart, right? So they are thinking about it all, but they're also looking at, well, I don't need to pay, you know, her for him, but I still want to be able to help him. So how can I work that out? How can this work? How will we go around this while separating and everything, right? So interesting. All right. So that's what we have. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here too. All right. There it is. It was like there is a little bit of you got the giant. Dun dun dun. Card number 9. There is um, this energy of something feeling big, right? Let's see here. In the fairy tales of most parts of Europe, giants or ogres are unintelligent human-like creatures who have an unfortunate tendency to eat people. They represent the brutish aspects of our lives and the times when we're physically afraid and feel unsafe. Well, I think I already had the dragon card, so the giant card seems to be fitting now. They also represent everything that's unrestrained, pure physical strength, leavened by reason or empathy. Wow. In the story, The Peary Fool, an old fairy tale from the Orkney Islands in Scotland, a giant steals kale from a vegetable patch and kidnaps 3 sisters who, one by one, catch him in the act. Although the giant has skinned the older 2 sisters, the youngest manages to recover her sister's skins and brings them back to life. She succeeds in this not by matching violence with violence, but by solving a riddle, by befriending a helpful old woman, and eventually by tricking the giant and sending him to his death. As always in fairy tales with a main character who's female, it's community, not individuality, that wins the day, and it's cleverness and bravery, not brute strength, that allows the heroine finally to solve the problems she faces. So is there a brutish giant figure or image in your life that must be overcome? Good question, right? And it's not the dragon on the other side, on the dark side, right? The giant is in here. What fear do I have, right? That can be overcome. That's really what this is talking about. So hopefully that helps, Maria. That's what they have for you, my dear. So many blessings to you. Thank you again for your donation. All right. So up next, we have Crescent Moon coming back around for your follow-up question here. Then after that, we do have Sean G. All right, let's give this a love and a like here. Crescent Moon, thank you again for your additional donation. Oh, did I post? I did not. Falling down on the job. So here are your two. I did Maria. Okay, I did Maria's. I haven't totally fallen off the wagon there. All right. So you weren't going to ask this, but since the fortune cookie mentioned kissing, right? Yeah. What will unfold between Sagittarius and you and their call in the weeks that follow? All right, let's take a look here. If there was anything else you asked after that, that's when the chat disconnected on my side. So if you had any other things that you had there, throw that out there too, because that's when it went. We went off into La La Land with the internet. All right. So let's take a look here. So what comes through? Yeah, why not? Doesn't hurt to ask based on current energies, Curious minds want to know. Okay, so what unfolds in the conversation and then the weeks after the conversation? Okay, this one got, chose two. That one feels like it's something below the surface because that was a surprise. I thought there was one card and then there was two. Let's see. Do I want those two? These feel like extra. We'll just put those over there. All right. So we do have the Knight of Swords. It does feel here, there's a lot of like conversation. It's like after the first one, I feel like there's a lot of communication, probably like texting mainly, but a lot of talking that comes in here with that Knight of Swords, because that's the movement of communication. So I feel like it just sparks so blah, 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 and just a lot of communication going back and forth. The conversation that you guys have, we have the Seven of Wands. It's a lot of honesty with that, because that's being true to my authentic self, not being defensive or defending myself, but not dimming my light, not asking permission to shine, but that here I am, this is who I am kind of energy that comes in with all of that. I like that. Yeah, and the death and the rebirth. So this, resurrection from the dead kind of energy. But I feel like it's a lot of the conversation, like we talked about, is just about like a phoenix rising from the ashes and how I'm changed. I'm not how I was before. It's like the caterpillar into the butterfly, the phoenix energy. So it's like a lot of realizations, a lot of how I'm different and how my life is different and how much of my caterpillar has melted away. So I do feel, and I think we talked about this before, it feels like where it's a lot of all over the place. It's scattered. They talk about this and then they jump to this and they jump to this. And they're just excited to tell you a lot about things that have happened and would have created stuff. Oh yeah, and then this and this, and then this happened, and da 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 da, and blah 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 blah. And then this happened, and da, 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 and you're just like, So a lot of conversation on their side, just and you keeping on track with all the tracks that they're taking you on, right? Um, I like that. Let's see what else here too. In the Eight of Pentacles, yeah, here's the caterpillar into the butterfly energy. So a lot of talking about that is what they're saying is happening there. A lot of transformation. I do feel a little bit that suddenly they go, "Oh my God, I just been talking nonstop. Tell me about you. What's going on with you?" And they really listen, and you're like, "Whoa, that is new. That is different." "Oh, okay, and they ask you questions, and they really are like intently interested in what's been going on with you. Not just waiting for you, you know, not waiting just to bring it back to something about them, which tended to be something that they would do in the past. So that's kind of a shocker, like, whoa, what was that? What happened there? Right. So, um, and then what unfolds in the weeks after that, right? So you've got the strength card, this Leo energy coming in here. What's underneath that? What's this about here? In the Four of Swords. Yeah, peace of mind and rest and letting go of expectations. I like this for you because I feel like they're gaining this feeling of independence. And I feel like the conversations and the interactions you have over texting and talking are allowing, in a way, for you just to be like, I am me, and they are them, and I'm not expecting them to be any different than who they are. There's like this inner strength that it just feel because you have changed, of course, as well. So things that they would have done before don't bother you as much anymore because you're defining yourself by this inner strength, not by, oh, when they do this or don't do this or don't say that, that means this about me. I feel like it's being reinforced, and you really, any triggers that are coming up, I feel like you're letting go of these expectations because you're just like, yeah, I don't, no, no. I'm just going to let them be them and I'm going to be me. I'm not going to try to put this myself in a cage of how am I supposed to act? What am I supposed to say and not say and do and not do? I'm going to be me. I'm going to be like that Seven of Wands too. I'm going to not dim my light. I'm not going to ask them to dim their light, and we're just going to both shine and to see where this goes. I like that kind of energy. You also have the Queen of Cups. There's a lot of emotional sharing here, following your intuition energy coming in here, but I feel like there's a big emotional type of flow energy. Yeah, because we got the Empress right next to her. And the Empress, let's see if you can see the Empress there, written on the bottom. There's a lot of emotion below the surface, and that's what the Queen of Cups represents too. There's a lot of emotion that comes up during the weeks that follow. Things that you need to share, things that they need to share from the past, but also new emotions that are shared as well. The Empress rules over all four queens, so she's 5 parts water, 1 part earth, 1 part air, 1 part fire. So but there's a lot of emotion below the surface. She's very earthy energy, the Empress, but because she rules over all the queens, they all give her this energy, and all the queens get a portion of water behind them. So that's why there's every queen gives her a cup, plus the Queen of Cups gives her a cup. So there's 5 cups of emotion. That's why, but it's not obvious because she's the queen. She's the Queen of Queens, the Empress, right? But there's a lot of emotion that comes up, a lot of birthing energy, a lot of sharing of emotion that comes in the weeks after that. Below that, yeah, even the High Priestess. Oh my gosh. Hidden things revealed. The Phoenix rising from the ashes. This is one of those cards. So a lot of this energy we're talking about here about really telling each other how things have changed and how we both have changed, but how it's burned away things that weren't us, and seeing if the feelings still fit with sharing things like, I need to tell you something about how I felt, and I don't expect an apology or whatever. I just need to let you know where I was coming from. And they're like, I also want to share things. And I feel like there's honesty, but it's not brutal honesty and attacking. It's sharing, and in moments it can be, I really felt hurt. Not you hurt me, but I really felt hurt. And I found out this is why I felt that way, taking ownership of our own emotional choices. But it's important for each other to know how your emotions work, because I feel like you both kind of kept those hidden before, um, for your good reasons from the past. Didn't trust people, kind of energy. So I know, right? And then let's see what happens here with the last three cards. We have the Fool card. Yeah. Feels like a new adventure, ending of an old cycle, the beginning of a new adventure with the zero, the Fool card. But it's an adventure free of expectations, right? It's like going on a play date with a best friend. It's that kind of energy. So there is a new adventure, which we know there's some adventure that was coming, right? 10 of Pentacles. There is this relationship type energy eventually, fullness of life in the outside world, but not jumping from one fire pan into another, right? This is about starting an adventure that can lead in that direction, but without expectations, right? And the Page of Wands. So it looks like there will be kissing. We were waiting for it, right? Page of Wands is passionate energy, but it's higher passion. It's not this energy of, you know, empty passion or without emotion. I like that there's a lot of communication first before you guys get together in the physical world. It does feel like weeks of talking, of transformation. Three to 5 weeks, I feel like, before you guys meet in person, just because of everything that they're transforming and they're going through as well. So um, it's very interesting energy. So I feel like that's what they have for you. So hopefully that helps. Dun dun dun. All right. So many blessings. Thank you for your multiple donations today and for the adventure, right? Okay. Yeah, you will meet. Yeah. So I think you might be behind because I think I just answered that. So you're probably going, oh, as you're typing that, I think I'm asking that. um, will you go out of town in October? That is really foggy now. Um, but I feel like there's going to be talking for like 3 to 5 weeks. So because I mean, it depends really on when they spark their energy, right? But I feel like you guys get together, but I don't feel like there's out of town energy with it right now. Tomorrow, who knows, right? Like we said, the picture that we've taken with their energy it feels like they got a lot of change and a lot of going on. That's why for 3 to 5 weeks, it's a lot of texting and calling and different things like that. But and I feel like they're going to be out of town for like a portion of it too. And that's why also that's why there's a lot of contact, because I feel like maybe they're on a business trip or they're somewhere where they're pocketed away out of town, and then they come back in, and then that's when you guys meet in person. But I don't feel like the first few times you guys meet, you go out of town. I feel like you meet for coffee or lunch, dinner, and then um, come over to my house for dinner. I'll make you dinner. And then KISSING. No. First comes love, then comes marriage. Oh my gosh. No, I'm just kidding. If you know that from when we were children, we had we used to tease each other about when someone was hanging out with someone. Uh, we had our little teasing thing as children, and that was part of all that. But anyway, but I feel like eventually you guys will go out of town, but I feel like it's more in town stuff because he's got a lot going on, a lot of change that happens with all that too. Yeah, no babies in the baby carriage. No, 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 no. Yeah. Too funny. All right. So that's what they have for you, Crescent Moon. So many blessings to you. I love it. Too funny. All right. Let me just check over here. All right. So, Sean G, you are up. Look at 20303. I love it. Too funny. The things that come back in my head. Spirit just licks their finger and goes, look at this old thing from many, many years ago. They're so funny. All right. So, Shanji, let's see, what time was this? It was about up here. So let me look for you there. There's your red hair. I looked for your red hair in your little emoji. Mike, there she is. So V called and you didn't answer. You called back and he didn't answer. And you haven't heard from him since. What's the energy around that? I noticed he also stopped looking at your stories. All right. Let's take a look here, Sean, see what we got going on here. You're very welcome. I'm glad you have a good sense of humor too. I like when people laugh with me, and I'm okay with people laughing at me too. All right, Shanji, let's see what's going on here with the V man here. V. All right. So what's their energy here? All right, I got that. Don't want any of those. I do want these two. Ooh, a surprise card. I like it. What do we have happening here? All right. I'm going to scooch these over. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Page of Cups. So there is higher energy, emotional energy that's there. But I don't know. I don't know if you left a message or not, like a voicemail. Because I feel like if they called, if they didn't leave a voicemail and you called and you didn't leave a voicemail, there's something about not leaving a voicemail and or the tone of the voicemails if something was left. It just is something about the going back and forth between those that I don't know what they're showing me, because this is the energy I'm feeling when I'm like, if someone calls and doesn't leave a message, I figure they butt dialed me. Because if it's important, you'll leave a message. And some of my friends would go, "Hey, I called you," and I go, "Yeah, I saw you called me. I saw a missed call from you." And they're like, "Why didn't you call me back?" And I go, "Well, you didn't leave a message. If you don't leave a message, I'm not going to call you back." And they're like, "Oh," and I go, "One, you might have butt dialed me, and then that's fine. Um, but if you don't leave a message, then I don't feel like it's important." And that's the kind of energy I feel coming in. So we'll see what that's about. Let's see what else is here. That's just the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Page of Wands. There's a desire for more emotion, more passion, energy here, more action. Knight of Wands, a desire for action. Um, yeah, action. King of Pentacles. Energy here too. A lot of this seeking abundance and seeking stuff in the outside world. I feel like they're very consumed. Their time is very consumed in the coin and trying to be successful in doing this. So, and I do feel here with all this fiery energy that they get easily distracted, kind of like we were talking earlier about some with ADHD and squirrel syndrome. They're like, okay, oh yeah, I need to call you back. I see that they called me back, or you know, they're like off onto five other things, and then it's interesting. I learned a lot around with ADHD because my host, she's got um, a pretty strong uh, case of it. Um, but we learn a lot because she sends me videos on Instagram going, look, ADHD, I feel seen. And I'm like, wow. But it is out of sight, out of mind energy. And with people with ADHD, if you don't stay in contact with them, it's not that they're intentionally ignoring, they're just so focused on what's happening in this moment, they just forget. And it's not personal, it's just how their mind works. It helped me understand because my dad has ADHD, and it'll be, it's out of sight, out of mind, and I don't take it personal, like I used to a long time ago. Um, and it just realizing if I want to talk to him, I'll send him a text or a meme or something, and that ignites and that puts us in front of them, right? So it's interesting energy there, but that's what I'm picking up. Let's see what else we got here. We got the Nine of Swords and the Moon card. Yeah. There is a lot of hidden fears below that. And I feel like maybe we've talked about that before, or you might be just kind of aware of it, that they've got fear of being hurt, of being rejected, of not being enough. And I feel like it kind of comes back to their personality where people don't stand for that. Fine, I'm writing you off. I don't want to have to put that energy into you. You're not worth it. They have that fear that's in there, like a lot of abandonment, a lot of people leaving them in their life because of that, how their brain works. And they're just like, all right. And so I feel like there's this, if they don't feel like someone's really interested, then that fear, and this is how they're seeing the world through those glasses, they might, you know, just kind of back off a little bit as well. So you add those two things together, it might help you understand kind of where they're kind of coming from. Let's see what's below the surface here. We got the Eight of Pentacles. So they are transforming, they're trying here with the blood, the sweat, the tears, and the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, here's the fear of lack, of not having enough, not being enough, which makes sense why they have that King of Pentacles, why they put such an effort into wanting to be more in the outside world, because they feel like at least that is attractive. If my brain and the way I interact doesn't, maybe this makes it worthy of being put up with, if that makes sense. Does my abundance, does the stuff, what I can offer, does that make up for you'll put up with this? Isn't that interesting? Poor little boo boo, his little inner child self. Just want to pick him up and give him a hug. Right. And then ultimately, here we have the Four of Swords. Yeah. In order to interact with them, the Four of Swords is about peace of mind and letting go of expectations about, you know, if you're going to expect them to be normal, like what you perceive with your definition of normal, well, this is what people should do and are supposed to do and need to do, then let that go. Because let them go, or you'll have to let that go in order to interact, because they do run differently, with their mindsets than what you're used to. Um, because they can be highly functional in doing things. We can look at the gifts of someone that has like this ADHD, but you know, what I'm saying. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here as well. What else do we have around this fairy tale of this mysterious V? We've got the Witch's Cottage. Card number 4. Stability energy. Let's see what we have here. The square number 4. So the witch's cottage is a dangerous place, whether it's a house made of gingerbread, like the one the witch inhabits in Hansa and Gretel. I always have to go German with you. I don't know why. Or a hut that can run on a pair of chicken legs, such as that occupied by Baba Yaga in Slavic folklore. Inside this cottage, the fairy tale heroine is tested by the witch, and during the course of that testing, is forced to face her worst fears. What she experiences inside the witch's cottage is a profound initiation. If she gets out of the place alive, she'll be forever changed and she'll be forever stronger. Everything is at stake in stories where the action takes place inside the witch's cottage, and there's no room for error. The witch tends always to be hungry, and in her kitchen there might well be an enormous oven in which the visitors who fail her tests can be roasted and eaten. The rules of engagement are a little different in the witch's cottage. Wow, the rules of engagement are different in this witch's cottage, right? Isn't that interesting? You'll need somehow to win over the witch and make her trust you so that you have a chance to trick her and escape. If you can't, a roasting in that big old oven might be your fate. So the questions that come up in that whimsical, explanation. What does the witch's cottage look like to you? What are the fears that you need to face, those that lurk inside it, and how will you overcome them? So, the fears of what their actions or non actions, their words or their silence, what does that mean? Because this is what is happening in the witch's cottage. Isn't that interesting? I love that. So, that is what they have for you, my dear. Thank you again for your donation. And, uh, whoops. Holy moly, there we go. Mouse went wild. All right. All right. So up next we have Debbie O, and then we'll have Just Alice. Hee hee. You'll be up after that. What did you say? Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Food for thought, right? I learned so much from what Spirit brings through too. That's why I'm so smart. I'm just kidding. That's what I tell people anyway. All right, Debbie. Oh, let's do. You're at 2 hours and 15 minutes even. Let's put that down here. Boom, boom. Thank you for your donation. Let's give that a love and a like there. Hey, collector. Oh, I see. Oh, you were responding to them. So they're just hanging, listening as well. I love it. So you had your second Zoom, and during meditation, the host channel that you were a medium. What the heck? Tell me about this. Oh, okay. See your emoji below. Me, a medium? Is that why my thinking is nonstop? Because last I checked, I'm not a medium. I'm a plus size. You're so funny. But I'm Bunch, and evidently a comedian too. You're so funny. Bada boom. So let's take a look here. We'll find out here. Well, first of all, when we're talking about, thinking being nonstop, usually mediums, it doesn't come through. It'll be a difference in the thinking, and you will recognize it coming from a different place. Like it's like you hear, like all of us, we hear all these voices in our head, not in a schizophrenic way, but we've got all these thoughts, all these voices of all this opinion all our life. And that's our human side of our brain, having all these opinions about what something is supposed to mean, should mean. It's usually a judgmental kind of energy towards something, like, oh, no, no, this is what they should be doing. This is what that means. When it comes from this place of, it's just this voice, right? Well, eventually, because spirit can communicate us through our brain, through our emotions, through our energy, through the physical world, right? So they bring us all these messages, but it will be a different type of feeling around what you're thinking. So I feel like you have a lot of thinking going on that's ignited from your human side, but some of that is mixed in with spirit that comes in there. That's why you know things about people, gut instincts that you have down here. You know, you have this stuff, but it'll be a different feeling. And sometimes it's like having twins inside of you talking, one that's your higher spiritual twin and the one that's the human side, and they're both saying stuff, and this one's really loud. The human side is very loud, but the higher self whispers. They're more gentle. They talk lower and calmly. When someone's rah, yelling and they're saying stuff at the same time, we're going to hear more. Maybe in between while they're taking a breath before they start yelling again, we might hear a pss, pss, and like, what? Rah! You know, that's why the more we lower our fear noise and we raise our vibration, we can hear the whispers more clearly from spirit. So, all of that, yeah, you notice some softness, yes. So I do believe we're all mediums. We're all channels, because we're all spirit, and we all have every spiritual gift available to us. There's just things that come easier for us as our human based on the astrology we've chosen. Um, so there's different things that come through, like you having a ton of water, emotional messages come through easy for you. Um, and um, and that's especially people with a lot of water moons, a lot of if you're a water sun sign or a water moon and or a lot of water in your chart, the emotional energy connects really well because it's all love energy. So people that have that are looking at your 12th house of Pisces, which is the connection, or where does Neptune show up in our chart? We all have all of that abilities, but like I said, some things come easier than others. But it doesn't mean that people can't develop. Like if we take our time to lower our fear noise, raise our vibration, we can all hear so much from spirit. Um, so we really all are mediums. Some people express it through energy work like Reiki or Qigong or Tai Chi and different energy movements. Other people channel people that are on the other side. Other bring messages through spirit, cards, prophecies. People do it through painting. People do it through, there's so many different ways we can express spirit, but we get to choose how we want to do it. Of course, as humans, we try to go, oh, this is a medium and this is a plus size. This is a large. We try to define, how everything is, but it's not like that, right? All right, so let's take a look here. Let's tell you about what Spirit wants you to know about this message that you got. Okay, thank you. And boom, 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 boom. All right. Yeah, I love it. In fact, I think I want to read this one to you because you got the celestial weaver as your underlying energy. So this is you as a spirit being here. I love it. And it's a special card in this deck. I think I read the Phoenix earlier. I think I did read the Celestial Weaver way earlier, but it's about power, manifestation, and inner connectedness. So here is a power card for you today that is a message for you to fully allow to sink in. Weave the fabric of your reality through your thoughts, your intentions, and your actions. Every thread you weave has a ripple effect in the universe. Be mindful of your thoughts and intentions. They are what shall create a beautiful tapestry of life. You are part of a greater cosmic dance. Your existence is meaningful and interconnected with all that is, all part of the unifying field of consciousness. You are the weaver of your destiny, and with each movement you make, weave love, kindness, and harmony into the world around you. Remember, it's natural for you. I love that message. This is natural for you. Our state is being normally being a channel of spirit. Humanity makes it difficult. This human side of us, because it's so noisy. Um, until we, like I said, until we turn down our fear noise, then we hear the whispers so much more clearly. Let's find out what else about this here. You got the Five of Wands. Yeah, that's the conflicting energy, the change of energy, and the Page of Cups. Yeah, so this is I feel like this is reinforcing what I've kind of said, because the Five of Wands is about changing our energy, changing how we, alter things. If I'm focusing on my fears, I'm focusing on the noise, the lack, the fears, then I get more of that noise. If I'm focusing on raising my vibration, then I'm in a way not investing energy in the noise drifts. And then when I raise my vibration to that of unconditional love and joy and laughter and play and peace and gratitude, that's the frequencies up there that spirit speaks. So when I'm focusing on that, I hear so much more clearly than when I'm hearing and I'm amplifying, holding the microphone to the fear noise gets louder. When I hold the microphone to the whispers, I hear that more. I love that. We hold a microphone. Where are we listening to, right? And that Page of Cups is about heightened emotion, and so I do feel you get messages more through emotion. And it's interesting because that's how I started. I'm huge. I have a ton of water in my, even though I'm an Aquarius sun, a Capricorn rising, a lot of mental energy there. I have a moon in Pisces, stellium in Pisces. I've got a water trine, water grand trine that creates a water kite, which is huge, huge water energy, which is emotion. So I feel things very deeply. And the first time I went to read cards with some friends of mine and stuff, they were like, well, here, because they would ask questions and I was just channeling messages. I was on this side of the table and they were doing readings over there. Someone goes, well, what about blah blah blah? And I'm like, well, da 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 da. And they looked at the cards and like, wait, he said. And then they did the cards together. They did another question, and I'm just like, I couldn't help myself. Blah 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 blah. Spirit was just like gushing out. And finally, they just gave me the cards and said, here, you read then. This is good for you. Read the cards. And I'm like, I don't know how. And they're like, and so this is what they're giving this for you. If you want to read cards or whatever, read emotion in people, the emotion of the card. And that's what comes in. It's like you pick up on the emotional energy in the card that comes through. And so the more you learn not to have your emotions and your mind, your human mind get involved, and we connect with our higher heart and our higher mind, that's where we channel the messages from spirit. But it's learning to what's the difference between this voice and that voice, which for me, with all the voices all the opinions and the voices we hear in our head, there was always one that was always true and always gentle, always loving, and it stood out from the rest, because the rest of them eventually pooped out and were not correct, were inconsistent, were not right. And then I'm like, okay, those are those. This is this voice. And you just learn it through time. So I like that. Let's see what else we have here too. But I do feel with the Page of Cups, it's an very emotionally based gift. You got the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, balance is important. So, and that has to do with balancing the fears of the outside world. Because if we're freaking out and flipping out, it's like being a therapist. If I have a bunch of triggers when I have someone talk to me in therapy, um, about what they were going through. If I had it too, then we're both freaking out together instead of let me work through my triggers. The more I work through my triggers, balancing myself, then the more I can hear more clearly, right? So even though you're like, me, really a medium, you're like, wait a minute, I do hear things. I do that. And it's usually in the moments of joy and quietness. When we feel quiet, we hear it. When we're noisy, we don't hear it. Even though they're speaking, we don't hear it because this is so overwhelming, right? We got the 10 of Cups. Yeah, so joy, joy, joy. As I was saying, that's when you hear that higher vibration is how we can do that. Yeah, we have the Empress. And in the shower, yeah, because we're in the present moment, right? We're calm. The Empress is Mother Nature, Mother Nurture energy. And again, reinforcing the amount of emotional energy that flows through you. But this is about especially nurturing yourself first, and then you'll get messages for yourself, and then you'll fill up and overflow. And you can do that for others. Yeah. You're going through a death and a rebirth. And the Strength card, yeah. Developing a strong connection where this is your human and this is your higher self, finding your inner strength. So there is quite a bit of this energy here. It's interesting with this. Yeah, I even got the Hermit card about spending time alone with spirit, and you're doing the steps on transforming, right? You're doing your workshops, you started therapy, which is great. I'm so proud of you for so quickly jumping into your journey, going, I'm tired of this stuff, I'm taking action. So you're doing this, but with that death and rebirth too, they're telling me you bet you were a strong, like, in priestess temples, and you have been very active in spiritual gifts in many of your lifetimes. So this wouldn't be like, a kind of energy with all that. You got lost. She's funny. So, I feel like that's what they have. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here for this too. And then we have just Alice after this. All right. Whoa, I think this is your card here. It came flying out at me. You got the Well. That's a deep subject. So we got card number 3 of the squares. Let go. Yeah, I can imagine you were a monk, nun, high priestess, priest, like not like a priest, like a Catholic priest, but like a priest of not a cult, but kind of like a Celtic kind of priest, and different things like that. So I love that. Oh, that's what you keep hearing. Let go. All right. So the well. In most European traditions, wells are conduits for the life-giving nourishment of the other world. They have their origins in it and bring otherworldly gifts with them into this world. In fairy tales, then, the well is an entrance to the other world, a location where we can pass out of the everyday into a world of magic and possibility. Shut up. In the Grimm's Mother Holly, a young girl throws herself into a well to recover a lost spindle. She finds herself in a beautiful new world where she apprentices herself to a powerful old woman. As a result of her hard work, and because she was kind to all the magical beings she met there, the girl leaves enriched, quite literally covered in a shower of gold. Her unkind, lazy sisters, um, let me see, her unkind, lazy sister leaves covered in tar. I'm not sure what that means. Oh, so I guess her sister was with her. So her unkind, lazy sister leaves covered in tar, not covered in gold. Okay, there we go. We never know exactly what we're going to find in the dark depths of a well, but we can guarantee that our foray into the other world will leave us utterly transformed. Whatever the nature of our journey and whatever wonders and strangenesses we might find as we walk our path, respect and reciprocity are everything. The fairy tale heroine never succeeds in her tasks without kindness and without the assistance of others. And at the bottom of a well, your true character and your intentions can't be hidden. Depending on how you behave there, a journey into the well might be a blessing or a curse. Do you have the courage to let yourself fall into the unknown depths of the well? And the strength of a character to honor the otherworldly forces you might find there? I love that. So definitely the depth of emotion, right? The water that lies at the bottom of a well. That's why wells are dug. So I just feel like it's a confirmation of your gifts and that as well. So I love that for you, Debbie O. So many blessings to you. Thank you again for your donation. All right. And then just Alice, you are up. Thank you for your donation. Let's get your timestamp here. All right. And thank you for the piece of pie. So, oh, and for your second one too, we'll put both of them here. We'll put for the, we'll just include it after this one since you'll be up next. Don't have any other donations. So, what is Harris doing tonight? Why is he not answering your calls? Is there another girl? All right, let's take a look here and see what we got going on with Harris. All right. Wow. Boom, boom, boom. So these cards and these cards. All right. Let's see what we have here. Okay. Well, we got the Eight of Wands as the energy underneath. And so there's a lot of, let's see if you can see the Eight of Wands there on the bottom. A very, yeah, even the 8 strength card underneath here. There's a lot of energetic movement that's going on here. So it feels like very, very busy energy that's going on here. Let's see what we have here. Because what is happening with all this? Why aren't they answering? But I do feel like they're like going. We do have here, we got the Three of Wands. Three of Wands energy. We can see that. You can see all of the card there, which is an energy about with new information. I'm going in a different direction than I thought I was. They have the World card here, which is a ending of a significant, a significant, say style. That's not the word. A significant cycle. Has a Y in it. Significant cycle, beginning of something different, and the Wheel of Fortune that's coming in here too. So this is an energy that it is for you. It is for the tune of for you. So whatever they're doing here, they're just, I feel like they're very busy with a lot of stuff happening. So it's an interesting energy because it does feel like they're in this transformation. They got a lot of stuff going on around them. And in answering your question is there another girl? We got the High Priestess, which she is the revealer of secrets, that there is something hidden to be revealed here. We do have the Magician. They've got a lot of fire energy that's coming in here, a lot of passionate energy. Again, this Eight of Wands. And we have the Knight of Swords. I feel like whatever's hidden is about to be revealed anyway. But I do feel here with this Eight of Wands and this Magician and this energy that they do have a lot of passion. They do have a lot of energy. They're active a lot, just in their life in all areas. I'm going to ask here specifically. I don't feel like tonight is about another girl. That's where I kind of feel like kind of this fog coming in, because they're like, well, I feel like they're just active and doing all this other stuff. I don't feel it has to do with a girl, but I do feel like there's some hidden stuff here. Um, and I feel like I want to just ask a separate little card here if there's another one. Yeah. Yeah, we do have the Knight of Cups. Oops, sorry, I'm covering the microphone. A Knight of Cups, which is romance, and we got the Devil card too, which is about addiction and energy. I do feel kind of Casanova energy, that I don't feel like there's just like a specific girl. They are very interested in romance, and it doesn't matter who it is, kind of energy that comes in with that there. Um, that they just love the feeling of being able to romance something. They like it how other people, how they feel about themselves when other people are like um, pleased by their presence, no matter what it is. But I do feel like they flirt, they, again, that kind of energy of, you know, not so much a player, but it's probably what we would call those romantics back in the romance ages. Casanova and those, they were like, oh, they're just so romantic, and they know how to help people feel good about themselves. And they like that. They like feeling good about themselves, because then I feel good about myself because I made them feel good about themselves. And I feel like they're addicted to that. Um, so I kind of feel like that's the kind of energy that's around there with them. Um, let's get your fortune cookie overall here, because I feel like there might be a pattern of we keep drawing, right? I know for me, when I had like 5 longest term relationships that lasted anywhere between it was either 1 year or 3 years. It was never 2 years. It was either I was with, because my first one was 3 years and then 1 year and then 3 years and then 1 year. And then I was single for 3 years and then I had a 1 year and then I broke the cycle and I've been single ever since. And alone in my hermit castle or the basement. But I feel like I had a repetitive pattern, because I kept drawing people into my life to show me what I wanted to see about myself until I saw it. So there can be something that if we are drawing these people to us that are showing us the same thing, it's like, how can this apply to me? How am I addicted to romance? I don't care who it is, as long as I have romance. Or is there energy about I choose unavailable people because it's safer for me? These are things I've thought about in my own life that they're bringing back. So, some things to think about, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, right. So let's see what the fortune cookie brings in, because I feel like there's something about repeating cycles, but let's see what they'll tell us here. Spinning, what are we spinning, right? Card number 12. 12 of circles, and then we'll do your second reading here. So this will be your fortune cookie for this session. Frankie's barking at something out there. Maybe it's the raccoons are back. In myths and fairy tales, spinning is connected to women's magic, and especially to the mysteries of creation and transformation. Characters like the three fates in Greek mythology, the three Norns in Scandinavian mythology, and Mother Holly in the German fairy tale tradition are archetypal creatrixes, quite literally spinning the world into being, right? In many European fairy tales, the act of spinning is a catalyst for magic and so can attract other worldly beings. However, not all of these beings are benign, and their help is often costly. In such stories, spinning is a test or a task that's set for the heroine, and it must be completed with the use of magic, such as spinning straw into gold or in record time. But if she doesn't have the skill, and a few heroines do, then the task may be completed with the assistance of an otherworldly character who's attracted to her. Wow. So the lessons to be learned come through the people that are attracted to us, right? In Northern English and Scottish fairy tales, this character might be a magical old woman called a habitat and her spinning sisters. In German stories, we might find homunu what homunculus, like maybe human-like. I don't know what this word means. Like characters such as Rumpelstiltskin. But the stakes around receiving such help are often high, and if the heroine isn't careful and wary, much can be taken from her in return. So, what do you need to spin into being in your world today? What needs to be created, and who will help you achieve it? So, it's kind of like this is the world that we're spinning. There's the wheel of fortune. It is for us. It's always for us to see what we want to see about ourselves and, what what's coming through with that, right? So, I like that for that one. And then I'll put a second timestamp here to 44.8 when we start your second one, just in case you want to be able to tell the difference between Harris and RJ. So are those. So we'll do that one. I'm actually, hey, Footwork, I'm on the last of my donations right now, and I'm like 15 minutes away from my 3-hour mark. So I'll have to see if I'm going to do free readings tonight, depending on how many are there. Because I don't think there's a ton, so I might do them still, but yeah, we're headed towards the end here in a few. So let's refresh these cards. Thank you for your additional donation, Alice, just Alice. And so you want to know RJ's updated thoughts and feelings about you after some time from your breakup. What has he realized? Has he tried to contact you? All right, we'll take a look here. Yeah, you can do a donation, absolutely. All right. So RJ, what is his energy here? Updated thoughts, feelings. That can't all be their feelings. It's going to be about their feelings, so we'll do that. Maybe that's what has he realized, because I don't feel like I don't feel like there's feelings. There's this numb feeling from them, because there's a space there. So we'll figure out that. And has he tried to contact you? Like that is that. I feel like we want that one. Do you want that one? That one. Okay. So what we got going on here? So yeah, his thoughts here. We've got the star card here. And so this makes sense because this is Aquarius energy, very much in their head, compartmentalizing their emotions. That's why I'm not getting any emotions, because they have a great ability being water bearers. They're air signs, so they're very much in their heads, but they're, because they carry water, emotions they can put in these containers and it can be, in that kind of containment, right? So they're keeping it there. It's a very balanced energy that they're in because of this numbness. They have all that And I think they even have it here. See how they're pouring all the emotions into the jar and then putting it in the basement with the other emotions. That's there, right? So let's see what they've learned here because I feel like they're. And we might have looked at this before. They're kind of a stuff and move forward kind of person. But let's see if with any of their of this air energy, what have they gleaned? Have they learned anything? Have they reflected on anything, right? Well, they got the world card. It's end of a cycle, beginning of a new adventure. That's that energy of, all right, that's done. On to the next thing. Uh, I don't feel like they've done a lot of reflection on things. I don't feel like they do at this time in their life. They kind of just move forward, right? We got the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, slow moving, slowest night. um, and I feel like that is the energy of not really learning a whole lot. Um, because of that approach. If I don't reflect, I just keep repeating the same things, right? And that's why I feel like this is just kind of a do 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 do. I'm just kind of going along. There's no speed in wanting to reflect on things. What else do we have? The Three of Pentacles. Yeah, kind of focusing on being true to my authentic self. I'm just being me. And well, some people just can't handle me. I'll find someone who will, kind of energy. In the Page of Wands. So there is here, they do miss um, like action and passion and but it's not emotion, it's motion. But this fire again, Page of Wands. It's the burning fire going to the next level. Well, I guess I'm going to go do this now. You know, so there's not a whole lot of reflection and what fire am I going to burn my hand on next? It's like I don't learn. Don't touch the fire. I'm just like, oh well. Oh, what's this? Psst, ow! Why is that burn? Well, you're the fire burning things. You're burning, right? So interesting energy with them, but I don't feel like a lot of reflection. Have they tried to reach out and contact you? With the Tower, they're like, that has been removed out of my life. I'm moving on. Again, with all this energy, it definitely feels like uh, every once in a while I'll get a picture of like a grass fire where grass fires just burn forward and go forward. They don't burn backwards because there's nothing left. Their mentality is I've already gone through it. I don't go back. I just go on to the next field, the next experience, whatever that is in life. Yeah. We got the Wheel of Fortune here. This is for you. Wow. So here's the spinning. Here's the spinning um, wheel, right? Because you got that on your first reading too with Harris, right? So this is for you. The experience with both Harris and with RJ and any others before that is for you, showing you what you want to see about yourself until you see it. All these are mirrors. They're teachers showing us. We don't have no idea what we're showing them. That they are also seeing their own reflections and learning, or in this case, they're getting another lesson in the books to eventually go, wait a minute, this happens with everyone. Maybe I'm the common denominator. It's like, yeah, that's how we all learn, right? That's how I learned, and that's how we learn when I keep having the same type of person in someone else's body show up in my life. Maybe this is for me, you know. So I feel like that's what this card is showing up here for. And the King of Pentacles, yeah. This is a journey for you of showing you beliefs around your worth, and the King of Swords, yeah. So you got the King of Pentacles, the King of Swords with the Wheel of Fortune. All of this is to show you more about, give you clarity around where you're putting your worth, what beliefs and mindsets we have that formed when we were younger, and why we are attracting the type of individuals we are to show us what's bubbling below the surface, so that we're like, oh, that's what's down there. Okay, I get it. That's why. Because for me, like, I ended up drawing in people that would cheat on me. One, I had all this fear because of what happened with my mom growing up, that I picked up on all her feelings, the pain she had of being cheated on, the fear that she was gonna, what it meant about her. So I carried that inside of me, and then I drew people in. But they also were showing me how I was cheating on myself with them, because I was, for my self-worth, which is what I get for myself, I was defining it by them. So I was cheating on myself, my higher self, my inner self, with these people. And that's what spirit showed me, is I was, that's why I had people cheat on me, because I was cheating on myself. And I'm like, wow, what an awareness, right? So it can be different for everyone, but I feel like that's what they have for that. Interesting. So that is the answer for that one. Hopefully that helps. You're like, psh, psh. That's, and it is fortunate for you that they are on their way for a different adventure as well. Not with you, right? All right. And then I see your other one. We'll circle back around for your other one here after footwork. Let me just grab that here. All right. So footwork, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. Thank you for your donation. We'll give that a love and a like, since it lets me do that for those. All right. And you want to know about future living place and relationship. All right. Let me just take a quick sip here. All right. So let's take a look here. What about a future living place? What can we know about that based on current energies? And then what about relationship based on current energies? Okay, thank you. I don't want that. I do want this one. I do want this one and this one as well. And this one and this one as well. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Scooch, scooch. Bottom of the deck, you do have the Phoenix card. This is a unique card to this deck, which is about a rebirth. It's about, you are in this, of course, we're in eclipse season, so this very much is Phoenix energy. About, we're in this year too, this energy really 2020 started in 2025 in a big way. 2026, wait, we're in 2025. I'm thinking about next year already. Kind of started in 2024. 2025, huge change. Next year, it balances out a little more, and then more change in 2027. But this year is a year of huge shaking, and astrologically and energetically, collectively as a planet, we have a lot of this rebirth energy. But you definitely are going through a lot of this change, rising from the ashes energy, right? So for living situation, you have the Page of Cups. It is a card of happiness and heightened emotions. It's a positive card. And you have the Queen of Pentacles, which is, again, a good birthing, abundance energy that comes in here. And so I do feel here, following your heart is important, because with the combination of these two, it's about nurturing yourself and choosing for you. So your future living area, it's not about what everyone else would want and like and blah, blah, blah. It's really getting in tune with your heart and going, what would make me happy? Everyone else, if there's anyone else involved, they can just get on board with my heart, because I need to choose for me. This is a time of nurturing yourself and choosing somewhere that you would be happy at. And in following that, let's see what the bottom energy underneath that. Yeah, if the Hierophant. There's a lot of clarity. It's the card major arcana number 5 of change. You can see the Hierophant and the 5 of up there at the top. Um, so it's about clarity. Instead of choosing from our mind of supposed to and should and need to and whatever else we'll think, what everyone else wants, this is about seeing things from a higher perspective, from your heart perspective. And in doing that, I feel like doors will open because your heart will guide you. When the mind is trying to have control over the heart, then it squashes our kind of our intuition and our draw, and we end up doing things that feel like existence instead of happiness and living. So if you take a big deep breath and step back and go, all right, heart, what do you want? Where are you leading me? And what I'm doing now with closing my eyes, that's what I do. It's like with the Two of Swords when we're like at a crossroads in our life and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I close my eyes and open my heart and listen to my heart, and usually get answers like this. When the eyes are open and the mind's involved, it's all this chatter and distraction and confusion, and I don't know what to decide. I'm like, I usually tell my friends when they're having trouble, close your eyes, open your heart. What do you want? Oh, I know what I want. I'm like, there you go, boom. Because the heart knows, the mind fears and has all these opinions from everyone, goes, here's all the options. Here's 50 options. And we're like, oh my God, I don't know what to choose. We close our eyes, open our heart. Our heart is like, this is what I want. Oh, easy, usually, right? So I feel like that is for the living, future living, relationship wise. What do we have here? We got the Five of Wands, which is a battle between the head and the heart, and the Four of Wands. Now, this is about marriage, uh, energy here, the Four of Wands, joy. But there is this, again, we talk about a battle, like I said, like with the Two of Swords. It's a battle between the head and the heart. And like our heart wants love and communion and equal passion and this wonderful experience. Our mind wants marriage and commitment and safety and all these rules and all these expectations fulfilled. That's what sucks the life out of relationships, and that's where this conflict comes in. Is the heart is like, let all those rules go. I want this adventure. I want to grow together. When we'll grow this, but when we focus on all the thoughts of the mind around relationship, that's what, again, here's 50 options, here's all the stuff that, or these 50 rules that have to be done, and it feels like so much, it's exhausting. And that's what sucks the life out of things, out of relationships specifically, all the thoughts and beliefs around it. What else do we have? Yeah, we have the Emperor with the Ace of Cups. Yeah, following the heart again. But the Emperor is that energy of, regarding relationship, what will help you move forward with relationship is to, like the Emperor, they clear the throne room of all the chatty advisors telling them they're supposed to, they should, they need to, they have to, the must around the empire, in this case around relationships. And they're like, clear the throne room, leave your opinions in that little, that little box by the door on your way out. And now I have my quietness. Now I get to decide, what is it that my heart wants with relationships. I decide, not with the mind and all those expectations, even around like home. It's fitting for both. It's almost like the phoenix is burning down all that stuff so you can rise from the ashes, allow your heart to rise from the ashes and go, okay, this is what I want. Then we put a plan, we put action behind it, and we go in those directions rather than letting the mind try to control everything, because that leads us into that exhaustion and that uh, downward spiral of expectations, right? So I like this coming in here for you because I feel like this is where you're at in kind of rebirthing, getting out of my head and into my heart around a lot of things in my life, right? You have the Six of Pentacles as well, and the Ten of Swords. Yeah, the Ten of Swords is all those expectations. That's the, I'm sick and tired of trying to be what everyone else wants me to be and having everything fit all this stuff. I'm just tired. I'm ready to be free and be on an adventure of love instead of a prison of love. And it's like an energy of, we can go around relationships in two ways. I need to fill a position in my life that is love. I need a lover, a spouse, whatever in my life. So I'm putting an ad that I need to hire for this position, which is like dating sites or whatever, right? And then I'm interviewing people, which is dating. I'm doing background checks, checking their social media, asking friends about them or whatever, right? And we're doing all that. And then we're like, all right, well, you seem like a good fit. I'm hiring you for this position. Then we find out they lied on their resume and we fire them. Then we have to put a new ad in the paper. And it feels like work because we're trying to bring someone into this company, this corporation that we're doing, which because we believe I have to have someone to fill this position. The other approach to it, which is feels more in alignment with our heart, is we're living our life, we're living our passion, we're doing things we love, and we're doing things we love with people we love and friends and family and doing those things. We bump into someone who's also living their passion, doing the same thing, and then we have this spark, and then we have something in common. We get to see them for who they are instead of they're not we're not asking for their resume because that's when people lie on their resume. We're just seeing who they are because we're all doing these things that we love. Then something sparks and then a relationship organically grows from that. That's the difference, right? And that's kind of what I feel the advice is, around relationship here. You have the Six of Pentacles too. You deserve to be with someone who loves like you do, and you find that in living your passions. You find someone that is like that kind of energy. You also realize with that Six of Pentacles, it is my codependency awareness card, my overgiver card, um, which there is some things we can look at that within ourselves of, going back to when we're 7 years old and younger, who were those people we felt we had to give so much to and got so little from them? And there's some work we can do in releasing them and forgiving them. And talking to our inner child who developed this out of balance giving and receiving energy, where it's like I have to give 1,000 love coins before I get one love coin back. And our inner child at the time, young child, right, 7 years old and younger, that seems fair. It goes down into our subconscious. We're running our life in this overgiving energy where we have to overgive at work and our friendships and our family and relationships and this and that. And we're exhausted and we continue to give until we're resentful, right? Which creates this not very, it creates parent child relationships instead of adult to adult relationships. So there's something that we can look at to free ourselves and bring it into our consciousness why it's out of balance. And we can talk to our inner child about this is what we can do. We deserve 1 to 1, not 1,000 to 1. Then they throw away all of the counting how many love coins were given because we deserve 1 to 1. It changes things. It changes the energy of what we are allowed to, what we allow to be drawn into us. It's a recalibration of our worth in a way. So hopefully that helps. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here too. All right. You have the Wall of Thorns. There's the wall keeping things out, right? Number 9. 9 of the squares. So behind an impenetrable thicket of thorns, the fairy tale heroine is sleeping. Walled off from the world in this way, she might seem on the surface to have checked out of her own story. But when the time is right, she'll need to pass through the wall of thorns in order to come back into the world and pick up the lost threads of her life. A wall of thorns acts as a protective barrier for the person sheltering behind it, at least until it's time to pass through. Then it's nothing more than a painful place, the location of a passage that's hard to navigate. But this is also a passage to a greater prize, and staying walled up forever just isn't an option. One day we must emerge. One day we must risk everything for the sake of the journey ahead. A wall of thorns is often constructed of roses, and the beauty of the flowers might distract you from the pain of the thorns that will tear at you until you reach the other side. It isn't until you're committed that you realize just how hard it's going to be. But once you're through it, you're through it. You emerge from the passage torn and tattered, but stronger than you ever were. Is there a wall of thorns that stands between you and your heart's desire? That's what we're talking about. This, our inner child puts up this force field, this wall of thorns until we bring it down. Then we can't have that stuff come in. What resources do you need to fight your way through? Right? So I like that for you. Hopefully that resonates there for you, footwork. But that's what they have for you. So many blessings to you. Thank you again for your donation. Right. And then just Alice, we're circling back around here. This is for number 3. Let's give you all your timestamps here. So thank you for all of those donations this evening. And you want to know, what advice does Spirit have for you, especially in passing your interviews for McKinsey? All right. Let's take a look here. So what advice does Spirit have for you? Oh, right. Especially for passing the interview. We'll zero in on that. All right. Let me just scooch these over here. You're very welcome, footwork. All right. So at the bottom of the deck, we do have the 5 of Swords. So the 5 of Swords is conflicting energy, right? And I feel like the specific energy regarding this interview they're talking about here is transforming our energy around conflict, the inner conflict that's in here. So it's like a change of mindset. So like, and this is something that they're bringing back, because when I supervised in corporations, I would help my direct reports prepare for their interviews, and the first thing is, I would tell them it's a conversation. It's not a test where you're going to get a pass or fail. Yeah, there's maybe 30 people applying for a position. There's only 29 people are not going to get it. And it's all about growth. It doesn't define you. So going in there, that it's a conversation, and that they're gonna pick the person that they feel is the best fit. So it's just important for you to communicate what you can offer. And if you don't get chosen, that's fine. You know, it doesn't define who you are. So it was a beginning is changing our mindset. And that's where they're kind of starting off here, in being that this isn't a test. It isn't they're not defining me. They're just deciding who they feel is the best fit for the position. And it's going to unfold perfectly for me. If I get it, yeehaw. If I don't, then I'm going to learn from them. What can I do better, or what was missing, or can I work on anything? Then then I work on that thing. If I really want that position, then I look and see what I can do, right? So I like it that it's the changing of the mindset is how it happens. Because if I go in with a pass or fail energy, then I'm going to go in with fear, and I'm not going to be my best. Because when our little inner child feels unsafe or out of control and is fearing, it knocks us out of our minds, out of our compassionate, kind, intelligent mind, and we're in reaction mode. We're in fight or flight. We're in survival. And so that's why people have interview anxiety, test anxiety, stage fright, writer's block, and things, because our intelligent brain is offline, because we either want to hiss and attack, or hiss and run away, or hiss and attack and then run away, right? So it's like, okay, going in without fear and understanding that this is a conversation. It's not a test or a determination of my worth. It just is someone's opinion. And if they are stupid enough not to hire me, then, well, maybe I don't want to work for a company that's stupid. But a right? All right, let's see what other advice they have here for you. I got the Two of Wands. Yeah, it's your energy, right? Whatever I focus on is what I draw in. So I can focus in on my fears and my need and want of a job, I push it away. If I focus on gratitude for the jobs I've had, if I have a job now, what are the things I love about the job that I have now? If I don't have a job, well, regardless if I have a job now or not, also focusing on the jobs I've had. What have I loved about positions I've worked in the past? Gratitude energy draws in and draws jobs that match that energy to us instead of pushing them away. So our energy is so important. My mindsets and my energy, I can control those things. I can't control what people are going to choose, but I can choose. I can make it easier for them to choose me or harder by where I'm focusing my energy and my fears. Right. I like it. You have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, there's a lot of different emotional energies that are here. It's funny that I normally wouldn't get this, but for an interview with this, I feel like, of course, balancing our emotions before we go in, so we don't feel mixed emotions and everything. It's going in, with our higher vibration emotions as much as we can. But I feel like there's something about just have some examples ready of when you encounter difficult situations and how you overcame them. I'm not sure it's a behavioral interview. That's what we used to do. And that's what are showing me is, give me an example of a time where you're you disagreed with your supervisor or your supervisor disagreed with you. And what did you do? Well, I did what they told me to do. Now it's like, well, I wanted to understand, where they were coming from to make sure I understood, and then I asked them if I could share like where I was coming from, and they said yes. And so I shared it with them. And then I saw where they were coming from. They saw where I was coming from. And I saw it differently. And I saw that where they were coming from was in alignment. And so, that's the result, right? That we ended up going their route. And I learned from it and I was glad. Or, they saw my point of view and we ended up going my route and da da da. And so, it's about having these situations, and even having an example of when something didn't turn out too well. And it's like, yeah, this happened and this was the outcome because they don't ask us things to uh, try to "Ha ha, look at you screwed up," right? They want to know what you learned from it. So you have an example of, oh, yeah, this happened. It didn't turn out so well, but what I learned from it, is this. And then in another situation that happened, I applied that and it turned out better. It's think of scenarios. And then you just go in feeling with these examples and you feel prepared, right? In case they ask you those types of things. One, it really shows you how much you've grown in your own self. And if you're not sure of something, what I recommend is think of something that you do well, and there's a reason why you do it well because you learn the hard way. Work backwards. Go, wow, this is a situation that worked out good, but why did it work out good? Oh, because the time before that it didn't work out good, and I learned. There's you can work backwards, right? And go, oh, that's what it is. And then you have those examples. Interesting. Sorry for all that, but that's what they're wanting to share here. You have the sun card. Yeah, here's the joy, the brightness. Go in with it here with I'm going to grow through this one way or another. I'm going to get the position and go forward. If I don't, then I'm going to learn and grow from it. It's not going to stop me from moving forward and doing what I want to achieve here. But it's definitely shining bright light. It's a victory kind of energy. It's just realizing it's always a win win, whether I get a position or not. It's always a win win. Um, and I feel like they're not setting you up for, because they're like, you're not going to get it. I just feel like it's important to have that kind of attitude and energy. It's like, I live in Hawaii and I could go and move and go on a vacation to Jamaica or somewhere, the Bahamas or whatever. It's like, I am in paradise already in my life. It would just be going to another paradise. I'm okay being where I'm at. Being there is not going to make my worth any different or not. I'm just going to be in a different location. And I feel like that's an important energy to go in with the interview with. You also have the Six of Swords. Yeah, so this is leaving old ways of thinking behind, moving into new ways of thinking, but it is movement, communication. It starts here and then it moves out into the outside world. You have the Judgment card, which is about seeing things from a higher perspective. It's the calling card. And so if this is like a dream job, it's funny. I saw a meme this morning. So, well, what's your dream job? And what's your dream job? And the other person goes, why would I dream of having a job? I gotta go rethink my life. But if this is like, I feel like where my calling is, where I'm drawing it, I'm never going to give up on it. So it's never a obstacle or a defeat. It's just a delay or a movement of energy, a change. It's funny, my background, I don't know if you saw a flash, the background on my computer screen changed from winter to this beach, bright, sunshiny thing. So it's a change of perspective and really seeing it that, yeah, I'm never going to give up on this. So we go in with a different energy and it changes everything, right? And you have the Five of Wands. Yeah, so change of energy. Five of Wands. Like we were talking about. Yeah, the Five of Swords, the Five of Wands. That's their advice. It's all about the energy that I put in the stories that I have and the emotional choices I'm making, the energy I'm putting out, and my physical choices are what draw in things that match that. And that is like one of the most important things to realize is that we are not on an out of control drama train that's about to leap off the tracks and explode. Um, we're driving a vehicle and we're the ones driving it with our energy. So whatever I focus on is what comes in. So hopefully that helps. I feel like that's what they have there for you. Alice, I already gave you your fortune cookie before. So that's what we have for you. So thank you again for your multiple donations and hopefully all their messages helped here. Let me see here. I'm about 20 minutes past. Let me see where we're at on free readings here. See if I have, because I don't want to just do a few and leave some people out. I'm either going to do all or nothing. I know, such a black and white approach. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. So I have Nelia for your free reading. Let's see here. Crescent Moon. We did those. We did those. We did those. Looks like they rescinded theirs, so we'll skip past that. Hey, Debbie, if you're still here, hello. Deborah Bradley. Okay, Crescent Moon, we did those. We did Shang-Chi. All right. Sorry, I just don't want to scroll too fast and skip past anyone. Debbie O, Lauren. Debbie O. Got Collector. You said you were just hanging out, relaxing, and listening. Thank you for being here if you're still here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So we did that there. Gaurav. Hello, Gaurav. If you're still here, hello. Let's see. Thank you guys so much. All right, so here we have Alicia. We might just have like a handful, like two maybe. Let's see here. Relaxing. You are sleepy. You are a chicken, like how they used to uh what is it called? Gosh, my brain's suddenly gone. Hypnotize. My gosh, how can I not remember the word hypnotize? But yeah, how they used to hypnotize people into believing they were a chicken. All right. So, yeah, I just have two free readings, so we will complete those. So, up first, we have Nelia Maderos. So thank you so much for your donations earlier. Let's grab your timestamp here. Oh, let's put next to it free. There we go. And you wanted a general reading for the month of September. So let's take a look here. All right. I want this one and this one. Well, you got the Five of Pentacles, the Five, and the Four of Cups. Yeah, there's an interesting energy coming in. Let's try to get with such a glare on him here. Maybe over here. There we go. But because the Five of Pentacles, of course, is this energy about the fear of lack, of not having enough, not being enough, being left out in the cold, blah blah blah. And the Four of Cups is a boredom of the emotion, and the combination of this is like, I'm just tired of feeling these feelings of lack, and I just feel like this month of September coming in is, I feel like you're feeling that way already, but I feel like it's just going in there and you're finding the resolution of things, of going, yeah, and the relationships in the past when I worried about, am I enough? What if they leave me? What if I'm just tired of feeling that way. That's the old ways. I just don't want to do that with this relationship. And I feel like you're realizing also in September how you've come so far in that area, but I feel like you're fine tuning that in September, letting go of defining yourself by your relationships and situations and things. And you're finding the security of your worth on the inside, and you're realizing the impact that has in those three buckets of the outside world of relationships, jobs, and things, and money, your body. You're realizing, wow, the change that has happened, as I'm realizing that it's creator that brings me what I need, not humans, and that my worth comes in from here and from the creator, not from the outside world. Just feel like there's a lot up here and you work through a lot here, and I feel like it's been dropping into here, but there is this moment of aha, right? Where it's like this dropping, where it just drops in from knowing it to knowing it, deep inside, in the heart. So I feel like that's what's coming in for the month of September. At least one thing that's significant for you, right? So that's what they have for you, my dear. And then Alicia, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. Right, and then here, your crush, Devshish, current feelings for you. You are in contact. All right, let's take a look here and see what your current feelings are here for you. So we've got the Nine of Swords and the Hermit, all this nine energy. Well, there's definitely here, they are very much in this I want to be alone energy, and it doesn't have to do specifically with you. This just has to be it's across the board, because they've got so many fears, and they are very introverted, this energy of I want, because that's what the Hermit card is. And you got the Nine of Swords, these nine energies, because the Hermit is number nine. I these I have so much fear, so many expectations, all this stuff going on. I just want to be with myself. I just want to feel safer, being alone, and not, because they've got all these fears that are attached, all these expectations that are attached to relationships, where it just feels like it's, letting go, letting down, you know, um, kind of energy that's coming in there, right? So I feel like that's kind of where they're at. They're just, I'm in this alone space in my life right now. And again, it's not specific to you. It's just across the board. So that's kind of where they're at in their life right now. All right. So that's what they have there for you. Hey, Deb, you just returned from a full day at the beach with live music and a bonfire. How fun. Beautiful moon. Slice of an orange. Oh, I can imagine. All right. I'm actually a half hour past, so I'm going to cut off now. Nothing else past this moment. There was a couple people that had a couple. I'll finish up these last two or three, but after that, I do need to head out here. Um, let's see here. Uh, you're working on letting go. There you go. Let it go. I'm actually wearing a shirt. So, collector, let's grab yours here. Advice on letting go. And Tanya Hikes. Hello, hello. We'll grab yours in there. And then Deb as well. Whoops. Oh no, you made it right in there. I'm cutting you after yours. I'm cutting it off. So we'll do yours two Debs. I just have three here. So collector, you're working on letting go. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Just do it. Right? Let's see. Oh, okay. We got that one here. All right. And this one here. So you have the Emperor. Wow, you have the Empress and the Strength card that's coming in here. So you've got um, this. Let me see here. There you can see it better. So the Strength card here. This is your higher self and your human self, and you have the Empress, which is Mother Nature, Mother Nurture. Two powerful major arcana coming in here. But it is about how can we let go of anything in our life. It's this finding our inner strength, connecting to inward and upward. Mom, your empress always comes up, right? It's inward and upward and connecting to your higher self, remembering who you really are, that you're a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love, that this human character you're playing is just one character out of many. And the Empress is about nurturing yourself and mothering yourself and coming back to yourself. I feel like with this energy here, realizing, that you have been so many different characters in so many different lifetimes. It's about putting it in perspective. First, I feel like if we can do that and we step around, right, and we get up to this place and we're like, I usually go sit on the moon. I meditate and I go, whoosh, I go sit on the moon and look out at the universe, look back and connect with my higher self and our spiritual posse and just see how big we really are, right? And there is this energy of once we realize that, then we can go, what am I afraid of? If I'm this powerful and this big, what am I afraid of? What can't I let go of? What am I missing? I'm not missing anything. So if I'm not missing anything, then I don't need to hold on to anything because I've got everything I need inside of me. Everything outside of me is just above and beyond extra. So I like that. Even in the Empress, there's the moon way back over here. Just going to go sit on the moon, see life from that different perspective, get out of our human head, out of our human mind and our human emotions, and step into that higher as well. So interesting energy there. Oop, I didn't even put your timestamp. How rude. I'll put question marks here and put that when I over there. Yeah, right. Too human. So, yep. So I feel like that's one thing that we can do, but it's because sometimes stepping away allows us to see it from instead of it being a part of us, we see it as something over here. If I feel like it's a part of me, I can't let it go. But if I see it as something separate from me, I can let it go because it's not part of me. I don't need it. Whether it's a person, a relationship, a situation, or whatever, it's like when I'm that big of a being, then I don't need to prove that I'm right. I don't need to hold on to anything. it just helps us release things and go, yeah, I'm going to focus on who I am, the higher vibration, instead of the lower vibration. So, humanity. It's a fun experience, but there's no right or wrong. Be gentle with ourselves, right? That it's okay. If I want to hold on to something and, um, it's like I have a story I wrote once called The Speedboat Called Surrender. And we see a rope on the ground and we grab onto it and it pulls us out into the water and we're holding on to it. We won't let go. We're being pulled in the boat called surrender. The speedboat called surrender gets faster and faster and faster and faster till we're bouncing all over the lake. And one hand lets go and we're still holding on because we can't let go. We eventually just pry away our fingers one at a time. And then we let go and we're calm in the water and we're like, why didn't I let go so long ago? Because we wanted to go for that joy ride behind that speedboat called surrender to learn our power of surrender as well. That's funny. All right, so that's what they have for you, my dear. So many blessings for you. All right. And then Tanya Hikes, you are up. Look at that. 33311. Boom. All right. In a general reading, let's take a look here. You're very welcome. Thanks for hanging out all night with us. Let's see here. General reading. What do we have here? You got the 10 of Cups and the King of Pentacles. There's an interesting message coming in here because I feel like they're bringing in like this awareness around there's things that we're told that will make us feel fulfilled from the outside world, and then there's joy. Joy is our natural state. We can always find joy inside of us regardless of what's going on in the outside world because we're made of unconditional love, we're made of joy. That's our natural state. Happiness, contentment, fulfillment is a human kind of like game that we play. In that we're like, I'm trying to match all these things I'm told in the outside world that I need to be happy, and we never find it because it's an ever-changing list. It's a lie. We don't need those things to be happy. I can choose to be happy for no reason at all. No one can take it away from me. Or I can have a list of 100 things, and if one thing goes away, then I'm unhappy. And that's our journey, is realizing the contrast between the two, that I have a natural state of joy. I can choose happiness. And that the outside world just is. It doesn't have meaning until this noodle gets involved and it puts a story to what's happening. We're given a lot of opinion about what everything is supposed to mean and whether, I don't know what that is, what it's supposed to mean, but it doesn't. It's just opinion. I get to decide what makes me happy or not. There's a lot of popular opinion around things, but I choose that I don't need anything to choose to be happy, and I connect with my joy of who I am, and I can just love life for no reason at all. But like I said, no one can take it away from me either. So I feel like there's this wonderful contrasting that's going on in your life that, like with us all, that shows us that the difference between the two so that we can understand ourselves more clearly. So I really like that. It's like this tapestry. If it was all beige, we wouldn't see that design in the middle, because we wouldn't see that. That would all blend in. If it was all black, we wouldn't see all of these. I'm sorry, all of these, because it would all be, there's no contrast. So embracing that it's okay to experience. There's neither right nor wrong. There's just different. That brings different experiences and different outcomes, but neither's right, neither's wrong. It's all for us. But there's always that power of our joy of who we really are in our lives we can always find that. But I love that the world is meaningless. It just is until it gets in here, and then we assign the story, and we are think it is Bashar who it's an entity that Daryl Anka, I think is his last name. He channels them, and I was watching him yesterday, today, sometime recently, and that's what he was talking about. But that we were created to put meaning to our lives. Life doesn't have meaning because we were created to put the meaning into our lives. And that's pretty powerful. So that's what I feel they have for you right now, Tanya. Hopefully that helps. So many blessings to you. All right. And then Deb, you are up. Whoops. You are very welcome. So you almost had 337.37, Deb, but you have 337.31. And you would just like an oracle. I'll tell you, we'll grab it from the fairy tale heroine oracle. Let's see what we have here for you. All right. Evidently, that's it. Okay, I'm sticking out here. Hey. Oh, look, you got Kiss. That's the 10 of diamonds. I think those are in the back. It is. Let's see what we got here. Right? Hot lips. In some versions of The Sleeping Beauty, the enchanted princess is awoken from her 100-year-long sleep by a kiss. Ooh la la. You're so funny. A kiss, then, is a tool of awakening. It lifts us out of our stagnant everyday and launches us into a strange new world that's brimming with possibility. An awakening, though, is more than just a rousing from sleep, the interruption of a dream. An awakening is the moment when we first begin to understand something or to feel something. It's the process of that something slowly emerging into our awareness, then expanding and intensifying, causing us to see the world in a different way. Such an awakening can be the most significant moment of our life, changing our perspective on the world and our place in it. What dream are you awakening from? And into what new world are you emerging? Wow, I like that. How is the world? How is spirit awakening you, right? Interesting. I love that for you. All right, I think that is everybody. Don't think I left anyone out. Yep. So I will find out your timestamp. I'll put that out there. So thank you guys again so much for all your love and all your support. I'm so grateful to have you on this journey with me and for your thirst after spirit. I'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain Time as well. And so until I see you guys again, remember every second of every day of your life, you are eternally and unconditionally loved by the mother and the father of all things, our creator. And of course, I loves you too. So until I see you guys again, take care of yourselves. Have some fun, right? Spirit's been asking for a while. Why are you being so serious? It's a playground. Let's go play. Let's have some fun. So sleep well, everybody. Sweet dreams. Have a great rest of your weekend if I don't see you tomorrow. And I love you much. We'll see you soon. Bye.